Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Four Horsemen of the Toon, as usual at 8:30 p.m. on a Monday night. Tonight we'll be talking about, obviously, the fantastic win against Southampton. We'll be having our little bit of fun competition, as in where's Joelinton, see who can come up with the best comment about where the man has gone or where the man is at the minute, with John Sinclair being his agent. So we'll bring in the guys. Good evening, everybody.
How are we doing?
How are you doing, lads?
Good.
Good. John, we'll start with you. Now, obviously, you watched the game on Saturday with you. Brilliant win. Backs to the wall stuff in the second half, but we came through it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not quite used to it, are we, seeing winning 3 goals to 2 these days in St James's Park? But listen, I mean, we had to win on Saturday, and we did after the disappointment against Crystal Palace. But at the end of the day, I mean, Miggy's back to his best. He scored twice, but one is deflected. ASM was outstanding. I thought Hayden at the back was absolutely fantastic as well. And the only disappointment for us in the game is Hendrick got 2 balls. He should have got. I said to, he should have got sent off in the first half for that awful tackle. At the end of the day, they could have had it. But listen, win's a win. I thought our defense in the second half was outstanding, and let's hope we follow it through. It's going to be a tough one on Monday the next week.
Yeah, it will be. Just before I come on to the other two lads, just to let you know that tonight we're having a bit of fun on the show. It all started last week, of course, with people commenting where they'd seen Joelinton during the transfer window. So we want to continue that on tonight with just the question, where's Joelinton? See out there who can come up with the funniest comment about where they've seen Joelinton, or whether they've seen Joelinton with John Sinclair somewhere. Let's have a good laugh tonight, put a smile on people's faces, because that's what it's all about. So if you've got a really good laugh inside you, you know you want to put a comment about Joelinton, about where you've seen him, make it as funny as possible, give everybody a laugh. So join in with this show. Sharky, welcome back to the Four Horsemen, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you doing?
Good. Saturday's game, summary from you?
Good game. What I was expecting. I didn't think it was going to be as difficult towards the end as what I was expecting the game. First half, it was Newcastle were dominant. You know, we had at one point, 2-goal advantage. Second half, John mentioned Jeff Hendrick being so daft, with a grappling, you didn't need to do it. And then we'll go down to 10 men, we'll make it difficult for ourselves. Yeah. Southampton already, they've already pulled one back at that point with Ward-Prowse's fantastic free kick. And let's be on any other given afternoon, I think Southampton probably would have won that game with the chances that they had towards the end. So, but no, honestly, a good 3 points given what's to come.
It was a bit of a nail-biting second half, Peter. What did you make of the match? I know I've seen obviously your player ratings and stuff. I thought you were a little harsh on some of the players, like with your ratings, but then again, everybody's got their opinions on them. Jeff Hendrick was a letdown, obviously, but what did you think of the match in general?
Yeah, I mean, first off, we were the most dominant team. We're taking the lead, and getting that second goal was crucial. We did let one slip to let them get a goal back, but we got that third goal. We capitalised on a Southampton mistake. Miggy took that goal brilliant.
Yeah, he did.
And second half, it was really, really nervy. I thought, I mean, when you're down to 9 men and how do you hold on for that amount of time and still come away with the 3 points? I don't think I've ever seen that happen to us, ever.
Bizarre, wasn't it? I mean, for me, Jeff Hendrick was just absolutely stupid. I mean, whether, yes, the first booking was a bit of a debatable one, should he have been booked or not. The fact of the matter is he was on a yellow card, and you cannot pull somebody's shirt like that. It just, the amount of cameras that there is around the ground. I know he booked Willock first, didn't he, Sharky? But then he went back to, obviously it was pointed out that he booked the wrong man. And then he went back and sent off Hendrick. He embarrassed himself when he was walking off the pitch looking like looking at the referee going, well, what did I do? What did I do?
Well, he's not had his best game in a black and white shirt, put it that way. He's never had He's not been great since he's been here. Let's be honest with Jeff Hendrick. He fails to deceive at the best of times. But I mean, listen, when you're already on a yellow card, you're already running the risk. And when you're going to grab someone else's shirt, I mean, listen, it's been seen by numerous cameras. and he has to go to yellow card offence. And he listen, I think given the position we were in, 3-1 lead, and then obviously Southampton pull one back, you're thinking, can we hold on to at least a draw at this point? But as Peter said, to see the game out, winning 3-2, it's fantastic. Given that Southampton beforehand were off a 9-0 defeat.
True. Lee, good evening. He says, did you have to mention Hendrick so soon? He's shite. Yes, we know he is. Johnny, he just let the lads down, really, didn't he? Because it was a ridiculous sending off. But luckily for him, the rest of the lads showed absolute commitment and desire to win that game on Saturday. Yeah,
didn't they? Just because with 10 men down to 9 men, they have to dig deep at the whole of the game. I mean, I can't, thank the players enough because they just show heart, they show fight, they show a bit of passion there as well. And look, if you can just keep playing that all the time, just show fight and passion and tackle well and then defend well, we'll win games. But going back to Jeff Hendrick, I'm going to say this now. For me, that red card he had was a blessing.
Yeah.
See, that's been on that pitch for a long time.
But he obviously suspended for the Chelsea game, which is a bonus to us. We've had a comment come in from Archer already regarding Joelinton. I mean, this was already in before I'd even switched on the broadcast. He says, what is Joelinton doing now? As we now got a haircut, John may check your back garden. Think Joelinton is trimming your bush for 40 million quid.
I've paid in installments, though.
Yeah. Peter Joelinton did make an appearance, didn't he, on Saturday? Now, I was a bit critical of him during the game because I thought there was a couple of times that he got the ball on the edge of the box when we were with 9 men and he was trying to dribble his way out. And we know that Joelinton can't dribble his way out of a crisp packet, never mind a football pitch. So, but the effort was there, I guess, wasn't it?
I suppose it was defensively, but it's just, what does he offer? That is just my concern.
Yeah.
I've already given me thoughts about Joelinton. He shouldn't. You would have looked to either to bring either Carroll or Gale on, but when you think Joelinton, you're thinking, oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, he was okay from a defensive point of view, but it's just when he's forward on the ball. I mean, what does?
I mean, I didn't understand why he didn't bring Andy Carroll on. If Southampton are going to pepper the box with crosses, why not have Andy Carroll on to clear the ball? Joelinton made no sense to me at all, Sharky.
Yep, I would have put on Dwight Gale just for a bit of pace. So right. A lad who needs game time. I know you mentioned Andy Carroll, but then we were to know that we're going to go down to 10 men. I mean, we're talking about 9 men when Joelinton's on the pitch. We might as well be down to 8 men because he's non-existent. What does he bring to the side? Do you know? It's from a defensive point of view, great. But attacking wise, doesn't do anything. It's just anonymous.
Obviously, I want to talk to you lads about the main men really on Saturday, which was undoubtedly Miggy and St. Maximin. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. John, we'll start with you. Having St. Maximin back in the side just gives us a much, much faster outlet to break a lot quicker. He set that first goal up for Joe Willock. Sorry, I mentioned Joe Willock as well because he was outstanding for his debut. He looks very promising as well, breaking from midfield and running into the box.
Yeah, it was good to see SM back in because he needs some creativity as well and a bit of skill. And we missed that for the last couple of games. But if he plays well and don't get found out, it'd be a cracking player, him. But we need him to be at his best because we're still not safe for relegation yet, But if he keeps going, then and it makes some assists and have a go, and then I think it'd be fantastic. On to Joe Willock. I thought he was absolutely fantastic on Saturday, him. I mean, he scored the first goal, he had legs, he was over the pitch, he can move, and let's hope he carries this on because he's a young player, and I just hope, if he's successful here, I just hope we keep on for another season, sort of one season on loan. Yeah. You never know.
I mean, Peter, Joe Willock really did surprise me because, we've already discussed many times that he hasn't had that many games. He's played a bit in the Europa League for Arsenal, but he looked really sharp from the off on Saturday. And it was just so nice to see a Newcastle United midfielder busting his ass to get in the box to get on the end of like pullbacks and crosses.
Exactly. Well, take, for example, the quote. He said to St. Maximin, you get that ball in the box and I'll be there to finish it.
Yeah.
And that certainly paid off very well indeed. There is more to come from Joe Willock. I think I can really see it. And I'm actually delighted we've brought this lad in.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm looking forward to see what else he can do as well.
He definitely surprised me, Sharky, just by the fact that he had so much energy. He was getting himself around the pitch. I mean, even at the end of the game, he was obviously knackered, being down to 9 men and stuff like that. But it's so nice to see somebody breaking from the midfield actually wanting to get in the box, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was listening to Total Sport and John Anderson mentioned it. It's good to see a player want to be so positive to get in the box. Likewise, your midfielders haven't been great. And he's just full of energy. You know, he's positive on and off the ball. And I mean, let's be fair, it was a game of two halves with Willock. First half, he was great. But then second half, we didn't see a great deal of him because we had to defend for a lot of that game, a lot of that 45 minutes. But I'm not going to judge him off like one game. I think it was an excellent debut, but I've got to see more of the same for the rest of the season in order to make me decision.
Definitely. One man I would like to give a big shout out to was Paul Dummett. I thought he was absolutely fantastic when he came on. Considering he hasn't played a lot, and yes, he had a dodgy game against Sheffield United, playing left wing back. We all know he's not a left wing back. He doesn't play there. For me, Dummett is always, in my mind, is always going to be, or ended up being, a centre back. But the way he put himself about on Saturday, one particular header he got away, he was full stretch and just tipped it away with his head for a corner. Do you think, against Chelsea, John, that we might see Dummett actually as a centre back given the injuries?
Do you know what? Definitely, because I've always said for years now he'd be fantastic being a centre back. I gave him an 8 out of 10 when he came on the pitch. We played right into Samantha, and we both agreed. He came on, he just did the basics right, didn't he? Just defended. Yeah, and it was just like a mountain. Do you know what I mean? And he did as always asked to do, and I thought he did a fantastic. I mean, if he keeps away from injuries, right, I think he'd be fine. And I've got to play him on Saturday. I have to play him on Saturday. Yeah. But it has to be in the back four, not in the back five.
Oh, definitely not a back five. I think if we go back to a back five, that is a massive backward step, considering that Bruce has been saying that he's been, working on this formation for weeks on end. We know that's bullshit, because it suddenly just changes formation when Graham Jones comes in, and then I don't believe for a second he's been working on it for weeks, but that's by the by. This seems to be a good formation that we can settle with and actually do things with. For me, Emil Kraft and Jamal Lewis in the second half performed outstandingly well. I think, obviously, when Emil Kraft came on, John, you were a bit annoyed with that because we know your feelings on him. But I thought second half, every man on that pitch defended for their lives for Newcastle. And that's what I got so much from that game, being a supporter, is because watching them play like that, actually just defending for their lives to win for that shirt, Peter.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I thought Dummett was, as you pointed out, he was very solid in the back as well. Just as you mentioned, putting himself about. Hayden as well. I mean, that clearance off the line that he did.
Yeah. I think that was given as a foul on Darlow, which it just wasn't. I mean, Jesus Christ!
No, I think we must be going away with that one.
That's my worry going into, again, I don't want to seem harsh on Carl Darlow, Sharky, but he just doesn't fulfill you with confidence when he comes for crosses at the minute, and he's flapping at things now, and he tries to punch everything when certain crosses he can catch. Yeah, he tries to punch everything, and I just think now is the time. We've been saying it for a few weeks. I just think we need our number one keeper back in for more stability in that back four, because we're going to be playing with a back four on Saturday that's not used to each other because, injuries, etc. We need somebody who is really vocal and can give these players some guidance from the goal like Dubravka does. Yeah,
you've got a point with Dubravka. I mean, he's one most vocal when it comes to organising the defence. Darlow, to be fair, has had a good season. He's not really put a foot wrong, but you are right. He does flap and I've noticed that for weeks now. However, like, I can't see Bruce dropping him because
I can't either.
Because he's a number one choice, and Darlow, you look back to the point he is pulling off saves, but against Southampton second half especially, he was flapping a lot, and we got quite lucky at times, and the defence obviously had to put their bodies on the line, and that's what we've been wanting for months now. Just not the Southampton game, not just the Everton game. You wonder where that's been, before Christmas when we should have been grinding out results. But I can't see Steve Bruce going with a back five against Chelsea, even though he probably would if he had the personnel. But unfortunately, we've got the injuries. He's going to have to go like a back four. Yeah,
I think that's what I was going to say. Actually, the fact that we've got that many injuries, it's playing a back five. We haven't got the players to do it. John, would you stick with the 4-3-3 for Chelsea?
I'd say I would, because the players now are comfortable playing in that way with just attacking more, I think. Scoring goals. But you've got to keep at that now because, look at Miggy. I mean, he likes to play in a 10 role. And that's his best position. ASN gets forward a lot. And Callum Wilson, if he's fit, I don't think he will be, is enjoying himself, But the midfield three, perfect. But it has to be 4-3-3 all the way now because if that's how he's going to change the system, keep it that way. You can't keep changing systems all the time.
Yeah.
It's just unsettle the players all the time. So this is the way to go for me, 4-3-3. And I think it'd be better that way. And we just play more football and attack.
Yeah. Peter, I watched Chelsea last night. They were obviously live against Sheffield United. I wasn't that impressed with what I watched, to be honest, with Chelsea. I think they're still trying to, work a system with these new players they've got. And I think they can be good at. I don't think they're that sound in defence. The most ludicrous own goal I've ever seen last night. Who was it that put it in? Was it Rudiger? Just no communication there between him and the keeper. So I think if we do stick to the 4-3-3, we've got a chance to get something.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, all we've got to do is just turn up, have a goal, and attack, which is what we've recently been doing. I mean, this Chelsea side, I think that it doesn't look as good at the minute, even since Thomas Tuchel's now come in.
Yeah.
See, some of their players are still not up to scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that Timo Werner has been getting the finger pointed at him as well. In that Rudiger, my God, he is he is awful. I mean, that is one of the most comical own goals I've seen in my life. I mean, what on earth was he doing?
There was just no communication, was there? It was just ridiculous. Sharky, do you, what's your feelings in Chelsea? I mean, do you think they're there to be good at? Because I just think that all the players they've brought in, obviously, they're still trying to blend into some sort of system. And I haven't been impressed with them for a few weeks now. And last night really only confirmed that. They're good in patches. They scored a lovely first goal with Werner cutting the ball back for Mason Mount. But I just think if we go at them, we've got a chance.
Absolutely, but I wouldn't go 4-3-3 against Chelsea. You're leaving yourself too open against a very good deadly counter-attack. For me, I would go 4-2-3-1. We have to be a little bit more defensive this time. We can't afford to go down there and exploit ourselves. Because if we go with a 4-3-3, we concede after 5 minutes, it's going to be a long night. Yes, they were poor against Sheffield United, but they ground out the results. I've seen Tuchel as a manager, and I think he's absolutely amazing. He really is. And yes, they've got defensive issues, but you can't kid yourselves up front. That's where they really are. You're causing the damage. And for us, we need to go down there with a game plan. We need to be well structured, and we can't be as poor as what we were defensively against Southampton. Because listen, yes, the Ward-Prowse goal was good, but we should never have given the free kick away. And even the goal for Minamino switching off, and he's in, he scores. But listen, I think it'll be a difficult night, whatever happens. But I wouldn't go out with a 4-3-3. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I go on, John.
Things as well. We'll come back to Werner. I mean, could be wrong with this, but he has been playing well. He has been scoring for ages. He's got off the ball at this moment in time, and you know what's going to happen now, don't you?
Yes, he'll score past us.
Exactly.
Don't tell me you're going to exit, John.
Play 4-3-3. You're just eating into his game, basically. You're just offering him.
Yeah. I mean, 4-2-3-1, everybody knows that's my favourite formation. That's where I think we are we are a better side at 4-2-3-1. But we'll the question is, what is the mastermind tactician Steve Bruce going to do with it? But hey ho. Paul Jackson says, seen Joelinton at the beauty shop getting a Brazilian waxing. Valerie Brown, good evening. Hope you're well. Paul says Joelinton's. Yeah, you've sent that twice, mate, but never mind. We'll forgive you for that. Here we go. We've got David. Good evening, David. Evening, lads. Great performance Saturday. Was very impressed with Willock debut. Yeah, we all were. I mean, it's vitally important now that, like Sharky said earlier, that obviously it's his debut and he continues playing the same way, because if that's what he can do, and that's certainly what if he can combine with St. Maximin on numerous occasions, St. Maximin's going to know where he is by the time he gets to the byline just to pull it back and Willock will be there. That can only give us a real bonus. Paul says, any news on Wilson? I haven't heard anything. Last I heard...
as well.
Sorry, Peter?
No, I haven't heard anything.
No.
I think he's just picked up a hamstring injury.
I heard it about 2-3 weeks, but that's just rumours going on Twitter.
Because some people are saying it's a hamstring, some people are saying it's a thigh strain because he was rubbing his thigh. But I know from many hamstring pulls, you can feel it around the whole of your leg, never mind just your actual hamstring. So
he will be missing for the big games. I can't see him playing against Chelsea Man United,
which is a massive loss. Who would you go with up front? Sharky, we'll start with you. Who would you play as, if we're going 4-2-3-1, who would be the one?
For me, we've got to match Chelsea for pace, so I'll go Dwight Gill.
Dwight Gill. John?
Yeah, I'll go for Dwight Gill for pace. I mean, when you're going to play Carroll, it's going to be like the long ball all the time, going to lose the ball, so I'll go for Gill.
Yeah, that's the problem, yeah.
The thing is, as well, if you play ESM, then it's going to help.
Yeah, of course it is. Peter?
I'm going to go with Dwight Gill as well. I think we could do with that bit of pace.
Yeah. I'd agree. I think if he goes with Carroll, that just gives some of the lazier players options just to punt it into the box, aka Shelby. But hopefully not. Lee says, I was gripping my ass with the second half, not good for my IBS. Yeah, I think a lot of fans will like that, to be honest. Even Thomas, hope you well, buddy. John says, we played brilliant the last 20 minutes considering we're down to 8 and Joelinton. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you've got to remember, we always count Joelinton as a missing player, don't we? So David, hi to you. Lee says, Hendrick and Joelinton should be banished from the shirt. I mean, I've said this, that Hendrick shouldn't be anywhere near the starting 11. I think, given his discipline, not just his discipline on Saturday, but he was anonymous again in the first half. Yes, he played that crossfield ball for, was it for ASM when he did the first goal, or was it the second for Miggy? I think it was the first goal.
Yes, but it was actually.
Yeah,
the second one.
It was the second one. But that's all he did, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned.
I scored him a 1.
No, yeah, you scored him a 1, Peter. John, I think you scored him did you give him a 1 as well, just for that pass?
Hendrick.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I'll give him the whole game. I'll give him a 0.
Yeah, I'll give him a 0 as well. Sharky, what would you have scored him?
See, I don't do player ratings. I'll probably get brutalized, but yeah, I'll probably give him a 0 or even a -1 if that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see what he brings. Go on.
I didn't want him in the first place. Like, I didn't see the point in the signing. For me, where I'd rather honestly bring back something Johan Gabay from retirement.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Kabay's 35, but he could do a much better job than Jeff Hendrick any day of the week. Trulls, good evening, Mitty. He says he probably learned it from Bruce. The what did I do? Yeah, no, I just thought it was embarrassing when he was walking off the pitch. He looked like a little kid just looking at his mum saying, well, I didn't do anything. Why am I not getting me tea kind of thing? Just get off the pitch at bell end. You know what I mean? Brian, good evening. Shelby and Hendrick are too slow, hence the yellow cards. Every game they're way behind the pace needed for the Premier League. Yeah, Shelby for me has lost a yard of pace, if he actually had any. John, I don't know I can't remember what you scored, Shelby, but I just thought he was in and out the game in the first half. He was back defending in the second half, but not really standing out for me.
I have to agree with you. I mean, he's lost a bit of pace. I think he's lazy. His passing ability now is just, I'm sorry, but it's just, when he passes the ball, it just goes nowhere. his quarter kick and that's distribution's poor. I'll give him a 5 on Saturday with Samantha. I'll give him a 5.
Five.
I think I'll give him a 4 or 5. I think I can't quite remember.
He's got the ability, but I'm still waiting for that ability because at the end of the day, that is why no other clubs want him because his attitude and his laziness. That's why we love him.
Yeah, and there was that chance he had in the second half. All he had to do was take it on his stronger foot. He thought, no, I'll do it on my weaker foot, and he made an absolute dog's dinner of that.
Well, the thing that gets me is they actually scored from that miss. You know, when he missed that, they went up the other end of the pitch and got a free kick and took the lead. He has a habit of sort of doing something and then the opposition scoring a couple of minutes later, it's a real annoying thing to happen, considering it happens on such a regular basis. Geordie Talk, good evening. Stephen, how are you? I hope you're well, mate. Lee says Shelby can't close his front door. Well, yeah, I mean, he's pretty bad. Jay says, do we actually know why Bruce picks Shelby as captain, never talks to other players and goes missing in parts of the games? Sharky, this is what I don't understand is how he gets the captaincy, because for me, he doesn't lead by example on the pitch or off the pitch. I mean, for me, I've tweeted this out and I've said it a million times over that Isaac Hayden should be our captain. Simply by the way he performs on the pitch, the leadership he gives, and off the pitch. You know, you never hear him getting into any trouble. He just goes about his business, but you can tell he's a leader. I think he'll be our future captain at some point, as long as he's at the club. But Shelby, for me, it's pointless. It's just a waste of an armband.
Yeah, I think it's more down to the fact that it's John Joe Shelby. He's like one of those bigger names, isn't he, in football? Everyone knows about him. He's not the John Joe Shelby from like a couple of years ago. I would have sold him a long time ago. That's my opinion. More of a championship player these days. You mentioned he's lost a bit of pace. He doesn't really get himself much in the game, does he? I mean, he scored a great goal against Crystal Palace, but then he just sort of tailed off. You mentioned the previous game against Southampton. You gave him a 4 or 5. I think you're being kind of probably give him a 2 or a 3. Honestly, didn't rate him at all. We were getting too overrun in that midfield, and you know he got bailed out quite a lot. You know, in the second half. But yeah, in terms of captaincy, yeah, I've got to run note. I would have given it either Hayden or Richie for me.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, just to quickly interrupt, if you like the video or you like the actual show, you're watching it live or on the rerun, do hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel, as well as all 3 of the other guests on here. The links are in the description for their channels. Go on and get subscribed to them. John is desperately trying to get up to the 400 mark this week. Me and Peter are very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. So please do help us in getting that goal. And also to Sharky, who has been going for a while now. So he's looking for more subscribers to his show as well. Does previews, reviews, and blogs and all of that kind of stuff. So get subscribed to everybody's channel, as well as hitting this like button. Again, if you've got any funny stories about where you've seen Joelinton, please put them in the live comments and we will read them out. Everybody needs a laugh at these weird times.
I'll tell you what, Paul. I'll tell you what, I got a knock on my door, this afternoon. Just from the back garden, Joelinton, because Joelinton was saying he didn't mind putting us up to here. Going, no. Get yourself, get it.
So he's in your spare room, Sharky. That's I bet he asked you. I bet he said John Sinclair was paying his board money and all.
Honestly, do you know what? I said to him last week. You've got to keep away from my back garden. Keep away from it.
Because he was fishing around there near transfer deadline day as well.
Oh, he was at the Mackhams last week, but they turned him down.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Thomas says, John, do you ever want to see Joelinton at the training ground? Next time you're up in Newcastle, you can come with us when we all go to the training ground. You can get his autograph and everything, and you can forge his signature on future contracts.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think I could turn up to the training ground if they watch my YouTube channel. Get right.
Well, at least we now know that he's hibernating in Sharky's spare room anyway. So
exactly.
Good evening, Daniel. I'm a little late. Have we mentioned that Hendrick doesn't deserve to wear the shirt? Yes, many times. We're all agreed on that. I just do not know what he offers Newcastle United. Lee said, what's your team selection against Chelsea? Clark and Dummett in centre-back so Hayden can set up in midfield. I think I want to see Hayden back in midfield against Chelsea. I think Clark and Dummett are the obvious centre-backs that should really be playing, and if he plays a 4. for me, it's not really. There's no question about it, John. He's got to play. He's got to play Clark and Dummett, hasn't he?
They have to, because at the end of the day, they can both defend and move Isaac into the midfield where he knows best. But at the end of the day, whoever plays the centre back on Monday, it's going to be working tough, because Chelsea are a good team, but not being impressed at this moment in time with them, like you said earlier on. But listen, at the end of the day, they can both defend, and if they do the job, great. And I just got a funny feeling that Bruce is going to play Isaac in defence, you know. I think he will. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he'll come out with some excuse for it, I've got no doubt. But I just think, when we've got two central defenders, I mean, we know that Clark will be back after becoming a dad. Congratulations to him, by the way. And we know that obviously Dummett can play at centre back, is a very good centre back, and I'd feel quite comfortable with those two playing there. Chippers, good evening, mate. Evening, lads. 2 wins from 13, as Steve Bruce would say. Momentum. Yeah. Best momentum we've had for a while.
Quickly, lad. I listened to TalkSport today, right? And John Moxton has come out and said Hawksby and Jacobs and said, so Steve Bruce got 2 wins in 3 games now. How about saying 2 wins in 14 games, man? Look at the bigger picture, man.
That's the way they look at it, isn't it? I mean, that's the way his fan club will look at it. 2 wins in 3. They don't count the previous games that have gone by. Thomas says, Johnny, you'll get your photo with him. That's yeah. Lee says, PD, is that the Metallica ride, the Lightning shirt?
No, it's Injustice for All.
There you go, Lee. That answers your question. Obviously, we know that. Peter's a big Metallica fan. Lee again says, box to Willock, box boom. Well, fair enough. That's a bit of a tongue twister on a Monday night for me. Ken, good evening to you, mate. Hi, guys, and good evening. I've got my Welsh mate, Cal, who is a Toon supporter, to watch the show live. I've told him Monday can be a hoot, but I've not mentioned to him about John and Joelinton's love affair. So welcome to watching the show, Cal, mate. Yeah, good evening, Cal. Nice you to join the show from Wales. Obviously, if nobody knows it, a couple of weeks ago, John was asked to explain or just give us an example of how much he thought Joelinton was worth. John Sinclair came out on the show and said 15 million. He's never lived that down since. And we are getting so many comments about where Joelinton and John are. And obviously contract talks with John Sinclair trying to get him out of the club and making money and things like that. It's been an absolute howl reading some of the comments. But John, realistically speaking, you're not that much of a fan of Joelinton, are you?
Not at all. I'm not being funny, but not at all. He's not a footballer for me. He's not a number 9. I don't know what he is. He's not a centre forward. He cannot play in the wing. For me, I just think he's a waste of space. I mean, 3 goals and 56 appearances ain't good enough for someone who's going to cost you £1 million. Okay, Pete's got to try and say, yeah, but then Casper, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. You know what I mean? But listen, I'll judge this footballer. He ain't good enough. He's a waste of shirt. And I hope in the summer we get a decent number 9 in. Maybe Callum Wilson, but get a decent striker in as well to help him out.
Yeah, well, Callum Wilson should have the number 9 shirt. Just a quick question there, John. Who were you doing an impersonation of there?
Yeah. Just the fans of that swell, man. But
was it a little dig at the Twitter trolls there, mate?
But you remember that I showed it on Saturday, did I? That Andrew.
Right? Yeah.
And I just said, no, I'll pull out there. So I read it out, and I said, what an absolute muppet to come out and say that. I'm not being funny, but he does do retweets in that. But I see the truth. Obviously, he doesn't. You know what I mean? I can see the bigger picture. He cannot. And if he was to come on me sure, he's wanted to come on me sure. And I'll talk to him. But I don't think well.
John Bruce says Joelinton must have a picture of Steve Bruce's little tudger. He must threaten Steve Bruce before every game. Pick me or I'll put it out on Facebook.
Okay.
Dear me. Archer, where is Joelinton? The man can't even run. It's like he shit his pants when he was on the pitch. He has no energy. I mean, he does give that impression, doesn't he, Sharky, that he's just, I don't know, like, we used to watch Chris Waddle back in the day, and everybody used to say he gave the impression that he was lazy, but Waddle got the ball and actually did something with it. Joelinton just, he goes around the pitch very lethargical, and then when he gets the ball, he doesn't do anything with it anyway.
Yeah, like when I look at Joelinton, I just think the pace of the Premier League's too much for him in terms of like it's fast going and he just can't keep up.
Yeah.
Now we just don't know where to put him in terms of position. We've tried playing him in as a forward, as that's what he was signed for. He can't do it. We'll put him out left. For me, he just doesn't do it. I see him more as a centre back. For me, he's just not quick enough. He could do a job at the back, but I've always said with Joelinton, right, take him at the Championship, give him a loan deal there, see what he could do. If he could score 15 goals plus, then we'll bring him back. We'll have a look at him. Otherwise, if he doesn't cut it the Championship, well, that tells you everything that you need to know. But for Joelinton, for me, as I've mentioned before, when he plays, we're a man down.
Very true. Very true. Chipper says, just seen Joelinton trying to control the snowball and lost it. The Geordie View. Good evening, Barry. Hope you're well. No, that's not Barry. No, because Barry's Geordie Reports. That's Lawrence, isn't it?
Lawrence.
Barry's got one called the NUFC Report. There's so many channels these days. Good evening, Lawrence. We'll play Clark and Dummett at centre back versus Chelsea, providing Lewis is fit. Yeah, I mean it's a no-brainer for me, but it's whether Steve Bruce sees it as a no-brainer himself. To be fair, which is
the problem is though, John. Paul, sorry with that. If we played Dummett, but then who we're going to bring on maybe the second half if they start to tire out? Do you know what I mean? Like I know we're barely any centre back options. You might have to play Hayden at centre back. I'm not saying I would go with that personally, but if you played Hayden, I can understand why. So then Dummett could maybe come on second half and just try and show up the defence, see where the game's at.
Yeah. To be honest, Lawrence, I mean, if it's one of three. Well, it's two or three, isn't it? I mean, Hayden's obviously, if he goes 4-2-3-1, then there's an opportunity, I think, to play Hayden there to start with, because he can play certainly Joe Willock, and he can play either Shelby or one of the long staffs, whoever it may be in midfield, which gives him the opportunity to play there. So it'll be interesting, Lawrence, to see what they do. Gary Miles says, any news on the injury front, lads? We've nothing at the minute. We know that Shah's going to be missing for a few months. He actually put that out on Twitter before anybody on Newcastle United decided to update the fans. So that was nice of him.
Feeling he was that injury, I think that was going to run him out for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
could be his last game. Could be his last game for Newcastle as well.
Mankio is going to be out for a while as well. It looks like he's done his ACL, which is a serious injury. So, I mean, he walked off the pitch, didn't he? He didn't have to be stretched off or anything, but ACLs, I mean, it was clear that he couldn't continue. He was just gone. So it's looking doubtful. Tom, good evening. Chelsea versus Newcastle, Man United versus Newcastle, Newcastle versus Wolves. How many points, John?
That is a tough one. I'm going to say, out of those, I'm going to say one.
1 point against Wolves, yeah? Yeah. Peter?
I'm going to go 4 points. I think Chelsea could possibly get a draw. Man United, I think we might get a defeat down there. I mean, our record at Old Trafford's not been great lately. Wolves at home could be winnable. Wolves are on a massive struggle this season.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
I think I'm going to be optimistic and say 5. If we can get 2 draws, Chelsea and Man United, and then beat Wolves, I think that'll be a fantastic 3 games. I know that's been rather optimistic given how we've played this season, but I've seen a bit of a lift in the team in the last few games, and I think it may be an opportunity just to show the whole league that when we're not as bad as everybody thinks we are, especially now we have a coach who actually knows how to coach the players, which obviously makes a big difference. So for me, I think we can do something at Chelsea and get a point. Man United is they're so indifferent at home this season. It is unbelievable. 1 minute they'll thrash somebody, the next minute they'll lose to the likes of Sheffield United, So it's just a very, very strange league this season. Paul says, Clark and Dummett is a solid pair, and Dummett always been good as a centre-back. With Hayden coming deep to help, it should work well, Peter.
Yeah, massively. I've seen, I think Dummett, he has played at centre-back before, a few years ago. And you want Hayden back in his correct centre midfield position.
Yeah. Because
he's so solid in there. He could certainly tackle, and he could certainly play a ball forward, and he could certainly drive with the ball as well. He's improved that massively at this football club.
Andrew, good evening, mate. Evening, chaps. Toon TV says, I would like to see St. Maximin, Wilson and Fraser up front. I don't think we're going to see Wilson for a few weeks. We're pretty much all agreed that we should maybe put Dwight Gale up front against Chelsea rather than Andy Carroll for pace, if anything else. Daniel says Darlow won't get dropped, so he agrees with you, Sharky. I tend to agree as well. I mean, I'd bring Dubravka back, but I think that Steve Bruce has made his stamp on it that, Darlow is his number one, and no matter what, he is the number one. I think Darlow's going to have to make a big mistake in order for Dubravka to get back in. Paul says, I think we should just rotate the keeper, try and keep them both fresh. There are so many games thick and fast, it seems daft not to. Sharky?
Sorry for that again. Sorry, I went a bit blank. Say that again.
He says, I think we should just rotate the keepers, try and keep them both fresh. There are so many games thick and fast, it seems daft not to.
I don't know. It's a difficult one really to answer because Darlow at this moment in time has deserved the shirt. And as you mentioned before, it's up to Dubravka to keep pushing him, but Darlow needs to make that big mistake. And let's be honest, if goals have gone past him, a lot of the time it's been down to poor defending, but recently we've been quite solid. And yes, he has flapped, but we're still winning games. Like, that in the last 3 games we've won 2, and we've only lost to Palace by 2 daft lapses of concentration. Otherwise, we could have actually got 3 points in that game as well. So yeah, I understand where he's coming from, but for me, as much as I want Dubravka back, Darlow, for me, he keeps the shirt.
Yeah, I think if you keep rotating the keepers, it's not really given the
you're not going to confidence
you need a steady
the
exactly. Yeah, you need that kind of consistency in goal, if you like, just so they know who's there and they know how the keeper works. But it's an idea. Tom says, why did he bring Joelinton on? Should have been Gale or Carroll. Yeah, we said that, Tom. We don't understand. But then again, it's very difficult to work Steve Bruce out, isn't it? I mean, 1 minute he plays, certain players, and next minute they're not seen for weeks on end. But hey-ho. Tom says, this time next Monday night, we'll be playing Chelsea. Indeed, we will. I hate Chelsea, the ex-wife's family's team. Oh, that's a good way to beat them, I guess. Lee says, I hate Chelsea too. Fair enough. Joel says, if I look at Joel too long, I'll go lazy. Yeah, I think watching Joelinton play football is kind of a good cure for insomnia. You just want to fall asleep. I'll tell you what, I'll watch Joelinton for 90 minutes and that'll help me get off to sleep. Geordie View says, if Wilson isn't fully fit, who would you start in his place? Dwight Gale. Everybody said Gale. Yeah. Brian says, if Willock keeps this up, I can see him getting labelled War Willie.
The problem is with Willock, I think he's a great player, but I'm not getting too excited over one game. It's great, an excellent debut. Like I say, a good 45 minutes defensively. We've seen another side to his game, but we need to see it on a consistent basis because we've seen it all too often before where players have come in either on a transfer or on loan. They've had one good game, then all of a sudden they've dipped. So long may it continue. It's one game, but he needs to kick on now, and he needs to help all season.
100% agree. I mean, we've seen so many times players come to this club and have fantastic debuts and then sort of disappearing into the wilderness, which is a shame. Lee would start Gale. I think we're all sort of happy with that. Andrew Seaton says, I've subscribed to your channel, Peter, and Toon Army TV. Obviously, he follows me and John already, so now he's got subscriptions to both you guys. Paul said, I play Carroll, me. Hold up, we have the runners in the side now. Yes, but we've got to remember that if we play Carroll, it's too easy for some of the players just to punt the ball into the box and expect Andy Carroll to win the headers, Peter.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you want that pace to play when you play it up against Chelsea and not just the long balls every time. So that is why Gale, to me, is the better option to start if Wilson is going to be missing on next Monday.
Yeah. David's made an interesting point. I would put ASM up front. John?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't, because you take the game away. I like him on the wing, so you can do spins and tricky sort of thing. I mean, you've got to play a false 9, yeah? I don't think he'd be the man to do it. I'll play as a false 9, but I wouldn't play him as if the position's a winger, then you should play as a winger. And That's his position. And
I think we've played too many times this season with players out of position. It's finally nice to see us with an 11 on the pitch who are actually playing in the proper positions for once. Tom says, if Wilson is injured, who would you play? Well, it's definitely Dwight Gale for us. Thomas says, Bentaleb or Hendrick? Sharky.
Neither.
You can't say neither. You've got to make a choice.
Bentaleb or Hendrick? Do you know what? I'm going to go Hendrick. I thought Bentaleb was absolutely awful last season. I'll go Hendrick.
I didn't think you'd say that.
No. If I have to choose between them, both of them, obviously I'd rather say neither. But if I had to choose, for me, Hendrick, nah. I generally don't. Hendrick, for me, he scored a couple of goals already. Yes, he's not the best, but Bentaleb, I mean, really? Yeah,
true. Ryan, good evening, mate. Big up the Four Horsemen. Hope you're well. Is that Ryan in Canada?
Yeah, it is. It's one who, it's the guy who chats to me on a Friday night. Yeah, good to see him.
Hope you're well, Ryan. Paul says, I don't think Shelvey has lost the pace. We've seen him sprinting forward towards the edge of the box. I just think he's lazy when getting back. You know what frustrates me about Shelvey, and I don't know whether you guys have noticed this, but whenever the pressure's on us and he loses the ball, he sort of bends down and goes on his hunkers and puts his hands on his knees as if to say, I'm knackered.
He sulks?
Yeah. It just annoys me. Peter, I don't know about you, but Shelvey's come at the end of his time, surely.
Yeah, it does look it. I mean, it's not the Shelvey we've seen for the past few years. He's been with us. I know he's early 20s still, but yeah, his legs just look a bit gone now, unfortunately.
I just think he's not trying to play the easy game. He's just getting the ball now and trying to hit these Hollywood passes every single time. You know, they're not coming off for him anymore. And, you know, he's giving goals away now by trying to do that as well, which is more of a worry. His free kick the other day was abysmal, which led to Southampton's first goal. You know, when he tried that free kick, he didn't clear the defenders and they broke and scored. And this is what I mean. He's just not – he's trying all these difficult things. I mean, why – these free kicks are we going to try to put to the edge of the box? Why are we not just putting it in towards the 6-yard box where our defenders can run onto them? It just makes no sense at all. But yeah, Steve Bruce for you. Ian says we've got to start Gale in the absence of Wilson now. I have a feeling he will go with Joelinton though. John, will he go with Joelinton? Any inside news on that?
Well, I think everyone in the room knows this. If he plays on Monday, we may as well play 10 men. He cannot, seriously, real talk, he cannot have this guy playing in our team. Not at all, especially not against Chelsea. They just laugh at him. They can say, you know what? Beautiful. We got him on toast, and he just not perform.
Yeah. I think it'd be just typical Newcastle United if he started Joelinton, he goes and bags a hat-trick just to piss all the fans off. David says, Paul, I watch your match report and I love your passion for the club. When people see it, aggression, I don't know, I don't understand and get where they're coming from. Cheers, David. No, any four of us that sort of, we've all had bits of a rant on our reviews this season without a shadow of a doubt, given some of the performances. It's never aggression from any of us, especially, you know, I know I tend to lose it a lot more than the other guys do, but you know, Peter's starting to catch me up with his rage. But you know, it's not aggression. It's just passion for the football club, and that's all we show.
Just making it clear, just getting your feelings out.
It is, yeah.
State facts as well, because the loads of games this season have been nothing but of utter dross. Exactly.
Yep, totally agree. Andrew says, my mum can take better crosses than Shelvey, and she's 82. Gary Miles says Hayden for captain. Yeah, I agree. Come on, guys, get these. Where's Joelintons? I want to have a good laugh tonight. We need to see more. Where is Joelinton? Archie, you promised us a good number tonight, and you've sent 2. Not good enough. David says, I think Bednarik should have been sent off on Saturday. The ref let Southampton players off with some bad tackles on our players. I don't think it was a sending off. I don't. John?
We both watched it, didn't we, on Saturday, and I think the booking's just about right. But I didn't think it was a sending off.
Yeah, I genuinely think he went for the ball. I mean, you know, obviously the free kick was abysmal as it is. I don't know why he was taking the free kick in the first place. I can't understand why a left-footed player like Miggy isn't taking that free kick. But by the by, it hit the wall. Two players going for a 50-50. Bednarek was late, yes, but not a red card for me. Sharky?
On Bednarek, well, that led to the free kick. A lot of fans are saying that, well, he was last man. To be honest, he wasn't last man. There was a Southampton player next to him, so he would have actually got back. They made the tackle. But in terms of, for the free kick, nah, let's be honest, I don't think he really meant it. And if anything, it was a decent challenge. He's a good player. I think it was just a bit of frustration because we're defending for a lot of that second half. And for me, it would have been a harsh red card had he received it. But yeah, I think, common sense has been prevailed. Yeah,
sorry, I said it was after the free kick. It was before, wasn't it? Ken says...
no, because after the free kick, I think they were appealing when Shaw went off as well, that he was part of the reason Shaw got the injury. But for me, it was, leading up to the free kick, for me, he wasn't last man.
Yeah, I saw that as a 50-50 maybe after the free kick. Ken says, I'm very surprised John hasn't gone for his lover Joelinton up front against Chelsea.
But you could play him at centre-back though, couldn't you, John? You could play him at centre-back, but he'd centre-back cover. Play him at centre-back, Joelinton. That's all he's got at.
I thought I could move.
Do you know what, Paul? That's a shout, That is a shout, Joelinton at centre-back. That is a shout.
It could be. I mean, he's got no mobility. He's got no mobility, has he? So it wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. I'm with you. John's obviously disagreeing because he wants Joelinton to play in his proper position in order to get the proper fee for him.
What do you mean? Do you mean the imaginary 15 million quid? I don't know where you get that from.
This crazy 15 million pound that's in John's head. He's just thinking,
you tell me anyone in the right mind who's going to pay 15 million quid for Joelinton. Let's be honest, I'd let him go for free. He's that bad. Honestly, take a loss.
I can't even see getting 5. Never mind 15. Andy says
we're getting nothing.
Yeah, Andy says, evening lads, we're all just saying Jones is our gaffer. He's the one communicating. The manager is a passenger, just like our captain is not a captain. Hayden for me all day long. Yeah, there is passengers in the team still. And obviously that needs eradicating, but I think nothing major is going to happen with this team unless a takeover happens, to be fair. And we all know that. Only if Joelinton isn't playing. John, your man's getting a hammering here tonight, mate. He's getting a hammering. Oh, Archer's back again. I believe Joelinton is back in training, dressing up as Tinky Winky, learning how to kick his balls. But when it's match days, Joelinton should dress up as Mr. Blobby and should wax his nipples and crack.
Just bat me drink.
Oh, dear me. Honestly, Archer, mate.
Where's the toast? Where's the toast?
Archer, cracking one, mate. You've made Pete spit his drink out. That's a bonus point for you.
That'll be forever YouTube sensation. People will look back on this stream in about 5 years' time. Peter spitting his drink out.
Yeah. You want to watch that PD PROUDLOCK, you nice. He goes on film and he rips tactic sheets up. He spits his drink everywhere. The man's crazy. He can't hold his temper.
I'll tell you what, you'd be ripping shirts up next if we get relegated.
I know. I tell you what, I've thought about doing that in front of the camera before. Just get a pair of scissors and cutting it up. Trill says he's getting a haircut, so won't find him at the training ground. Tom says Joelinton's outside John's house with a fishing rod and a cooked chicken, ready to go fishing down the River Tyne. John, check out your window, mate. He's
tonight, I'll get it, yeah.
John, I'd check outside, mate, just in case there's somebody there carrying a torch. Just creeping around your garden. NUFC match reports. Barry, good evening. That's Barry. On my break, been working with a guy called Joe. He's been sent down by his agent as punishment for posting a picture on social media. Thing is, he's meant to work 90 minutes, but he's gone missing. I think we know who he's talking about there. John, have you been getting him a factory job now?
Oh, no. He's got a job on the letters now.
Oh, God almighty. Not the letters, dear God. Daniel Craig, good evening, James Bond. Hope you're well, mate. Agreed, I think he sees Hayden as a centre-back. Bruce, the tactical genius. Yeah, he's, tactical genius is a very, very sarcastic phrase for him at the minute. Jory View, with Shah out for the season and his contract running out, would you give him a new deal? Ooh, there's a question. Sharky, I'll let you answer that first.
I was thinking about it today. No, I want to look elsewhere. I think he's been here long enough. He's been too inconsistent. Yes, he scored a great goal against Burnley, and yes, he was good in recent games before his injury. But listen, I think we've got to move on. And let's say we do get a takeover. Yeah. We can go for better than like Fabian Schär. So for me, no.
Fair enough. John, would you give him a new deal?
If Sav's listening to the show,
yeah, be careful what you say.
If you listen to us, Pet, I want you to come on my show one day. I'll show the interviews. Would I give him another one? I would, yes. But if it's a takeover, then I think he'd be okay as a squad player.
Right. Fair enough. Peter?
I am looking at on the way. If we don't get a takeover, yes, I'll keep him on. But if we don't, no.
Fair enough. I would actually keep him. That's just my opinion. I think he started to play like the old Schär we know. Quite frankly, whether he was playing for putting himself in the shop window or not, I don't know. But for me, I'd have him back. But like I say, it's all about opinions. I think if a takeover happens, then obviously we can afford to go out and get some real quality defenders in. So
Sergio Ramos, just go and get the old guys back.
That's very true. That's very true. Jason English says Ashraf Lazar is off to Watford. I'd heard whispers about that this morning, but I don't know whether anything's been confirmed about it yet. But good luck to him. Yeah, he's he desperately needs some football. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, he's been picking up a wage. I can't believe that he's sat there just enjoying sitting on his ass for the whole time and then having to play in the 23s.
I thought Sheffield Wednesday would have took him because he'd done quite well over there. Well, since the last time I checked, anyway, he was doing all right.
He was. That's a good shout, actually. But I know Watford was mentioned this morning. I'd read reports on that. But like I say, I haven't seen anything confirmed yet. But whether whether it's been confirmed tonight, who knows? Andrew said, I heard Joelinton was at that rave near concert the other week. Have you been sending him out to raves, John?
I used to go to concert nightclub with you now. I used to go to Trades. I used to go to 70 City. I went to another one, Demi's as well. And, my God. Stop me weird, dancing away. But if I was younger now, then I'd take out clubbing. I'll show me good.
How on earth are you still alive? Anyway, Trill says, comment from Bruce today. I'm going in there. In where?
I'm confused.
Yeah, so am I. Let us know what that means, Trolls, mate. Jay says, what's the chances of Bruce playing Joelinton up front? We know it will happen. Well, we've already said this. I'd be absolutely staggered if he starts Joelinton on Monday. He can't, surely, Peter.
No, I mean, again, as John mentioned, if you may as well be down to 10 men. So kick off, or you may as well pick up the phone and get the likes of Shola, Hoslu back, Nile Ranger, whoever.
God, you are dragging up the pits there, aren't you? Jesus.
I mean, this is one of the worst players I've seen at this club ever.
Yeah. Alleged price tag isn't Joelinton's fault, but he needs to put in more effort. Yeah, I mean, I said weeks ago that for me, the price tag's forgotten about now. I'm not bothered about the 40 million. All I want to see from him is a bit of effort, a bit of passion, and yeah, he showed a bit the other night against Southampton when we were down to 9. He put himself about a bit, tried to do a bit too much at times, but he did. He was part of those 9 players, and we have to, give him credit for that. But price tags for Joelinton, just not a chance. I mean, he's not worth anything for me.
Well, unless you ask John.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
John knows the answers to the price tag.
Don't you be putting a 0 on that screen, John. We know what you value him at. Don't you worry.
Exactly. It's clearly stated on the YouTube. If you go back to previous streams.
He can't get out of it. Ryan says, I'd take Balogun this summer with Gale and Carroll leaving. That's a good shout, actually.
Arsenal.
I don't think I want any Arsenal players, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could say that, but he's a decent player, He is a decent player. Certainly better than what we've got at the minute, excluding Wilson, but he's better than Gale and Carroll, definitely. It's not a bad shout for me, but we'll see what happens in the summer. Troll says maybe his wang is so long he doesn't dare to run fast. Oh, Jesus. That's great. John, is Joelinton, well endowed, shall we say, that he doesn't want to run?
Yes, we're talking about blind butchers, not last week.
Maybe he's thinking about Brazilian beaches, like, you know what I mean? Make some money and then go back to Brazil one day and stop being a male model in Brazil, in Rio. You know what I mean?
Right, I don't know whether anybody has noticed this, but John has actually pushed for Joelinton to be a male model at least 10 times on this show. Not just tonight, but in previous weeks.
Man. No, he's not a footballer. He's not.
Well, he's not a footballer. I'm just concerned that you think he's a male model. But never mind. Jay says, what's the chances of Bruce playing Joelinton up front versus Chelsea? We know he will. Yeah, again, there's a lot of people worried about this, including ourselves, really. Like I say, I'd be staggered if he did. But he's really letting himself down again, Steve Bruce. Andy says he makes a cracking cuppa. I'll take he's talking about Joelinton. Daniel says Joelinton is absolutely terrible. Bruce looked out as he defended well when we were down to 9. Yeah, absolutely. I mean...
Nailed it. He's got the first bit right, by the way. Go on.
David says, I've seen Joelinton in Ashington Poundland buying some pork balls. Okay. Bruce is a no-brainer. Yeah, that's very true. Jason says Joelinton makes £11,428 a day. Let that just sink in, lads, okay? £11,428 a day. Peter, can I have your thoughts on that?
My God. Any word to describe that? Stealing a wage. What you call that?
John,
where's that? Oh,
hey. How did you negotiate that deal?
You know what? I should be sacked. I should be sacked for the fall of deception, really, should I?
Sharky, on a serious note, though, that when you read something like that, it just makes you sit up and think, Jesus Christ, something's gone seriously wrong with that deal.
Well, that's it. You look back at the scouts, whoever scouted him, they need sacked. I mean, come on. What did they see in Joelinton at Hoffenheim to think he was good enough in the Premier League? If you look back at his CV, I think he scored, was it 7 goals for Hoffenheim? I mean, a previous club, I think he'd scored double figures, but it wasn't like for a club that were massive. But like I say, I don't look at him as like the £40 million price tag. I look at his ability and I just think he's not quite up to Premier League level.
Yeah, I totally agree. Tom says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed Paul Pogba will be sidelined for a few weeks with a thigh injury. I don't know about you guys, right? But I don't get what the big show is about Paul Pogba. I watch quite a lot of the live games now, and some of the pundits and some of the fans. I watch Mark Goldbridge quite a lot when he does on the United stand when he does the live games. Pogba always scores high amongst the Man United fans, and I just don't see what he offers, John.
Look, I follow Paul Pogba's career when he used to play in Serie A with Juve, and I think he was a cracking player then, and he's one of the best players in the Italian game, winning 4 titles, and I think so, top class player. But when he came to Man U, sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad, but he just doesn't put the effort in. So of late, I'm not going to lie, I think he's been playing well of late. But for me, I think it's best time so he's played for Juve. And,
he just looks very lazy to me. Very laboured and lazy.
It can be lazy, I'm not going to lie. But when he steps up to the game, and when he behaves himself at the club, and, when the team does well, he does well. But if not doing well, you guys missing. So
that's an interesting one. But obviously, he could play Fred and McTominay when the playoffs. But it's a while away yet, so anything can happen given injuries. Charles said heard Lascelles is back, so I guess he will play. I've not heard Lascelles is going to be back for Chelsea. I'll be very surprised if he is. Sharky, I don't think he'll be fit.
I haven't heard anything. There was talk that Fernandes could be available for Chelsea, though. So we are getting centre-backs, available. If that's true, then we need them back. It's not a case of if we need them back now, because we haven't got the personnel, to set up a side that's capable enough of, defending. Okay, we'll concede 2 against Southampton, but if we had our best centre-backs playing, maybe we wouldn't have conceded 2 goals. It's ifs and buts, but against Chelsea, we need our best centre-backs. So if we can play, say, Fernandes and Lascelles, or even, say, Fernandes and Clark, I'm all for it. And if you give Hayden that chance of pushing up forward in midfield, go for it. But we'll have to wait and see what's said on the club website.
Yeah, I think for me, if I take Fernandes over Lascelles, to be honest, this season, the way it's gone, my opinion again, but I just think
he's the one I want to leave the club as well.
Lascelles.
Yeah, not good enough.
He isn't good enough. He certainly, there was a point where I thought he was going to, really improve, especially under Rafa. He did get better, but he's never been that outstanding defender that I've had faith in when he's on the pitch. I think he's very dodgy bringing the ball out. His distribution's poor. And that hasn't really got any better since he's been here. Guys, don't forget to hit a like on this show if you're watching it live or on the reruns, and also subscribe to the Toon Review YouTube channel, as well as all the other guys' channels. The links are down in the description. Make sure you subscribe to everyone for absolute classic football banter. Daniel says, do you think Almiron may play as a false 9 and bring in Fraser? It's difficult because without knowing what formation he's going to go for, it's very difficult to say who's going to play where. Because if he plays a 4-3-3, then yes, I think Almiron will be still the false 9 or false 10, whatever he wants to call it.
False 10.
Nobody knows. But it'll be difficult just without knowing the formation. John says, Joelinton is a disgrace to our club. It should be about the passion, the commitment, the badge on the shirt, the city. It's all about these things and more. I couldn't have said that better myself, John, to be honest. And I think Joelinton's not the only one. I think there's a few players actually worse than Joelinton who don't really take that into consideration. Jay says Pogba's out for a few weeks. So, yeah.
Can I just mention something on the squad as well, and Joelinton? I know we all criticise him, which is rightly so, but you got to look at some of our players as well that we hype up, and some of them for me are just not good enough for Premier League level. They really are not. They're not, and I think some of them should have left a long time ago. If we can bring in some quality, say if we can go into the German Bundesliga, the Serie A, if we can go to the French League and bring in some really good players that could possibly help out Joelinton for next season, with Takeover or not, then maybe we could see the best of Joelinton. But for now, I look at our current squad, we've got individuals that are good, but we don't have too many quality players, if you see where I'm coming from. Yeah,
definitely, I agree. I think that there's a lot of players there who, like I said, deadwood should have been shipped out a long time ago.
The service is very poor as well at times.
Yeah. Lee says, what's your thoughts on Lejeune, guys? I personally thought he was pretty solid. Shame about his injuries. Peter, I'll let you answer that one because I'm a big fan of Lejeune personally. I was disappointed when he went out on loan.
Yeah, I see him. He has been very solid. I think the injuries did catch up with him a lot last season. It goes back to the game against Leicester City at home when we lost 3-0. And he was at fault for 2 of the goals that we conceded in that game.
Yeah.
Hopefully the loan spell at Alaves hopefully it does him good. Hopefully can bring him back and see.
I think he's away. I think he's away, mate. I think that's it now for him. I can't. The thing is, if Bruce is still here, why would you want to come back to this dross?
Well, especially after the comments that Bruce made about him, anyway.
He's not. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're looking at all that. Why would you want to come back now? He's going to be sunning it out in Spain. He's going to be enjoying himself. And once the fans get back, and he's getting regular football as well. Which, let's be honest, he's not going to get a regular game time here.
Agreed.
Oh, I think I'll show you on Saturday when Bruce was asked about Lejeune, about how is he doing in Spain, and he goes, the kid needs, and his words were, the kid needs to play games. And then he asks another question, goes, I presume he's doing okay. So
he doesn't have a clue. He, just as long as it's shipped out the door, he doesn't
care. How long
care.
has he got left?
He's got one more year left.
I think he's got a year left, hasn't he?
Honestly, I reckon the club will leave it. What they'll do is they'll do like what they did with Colback. They'll let his contract just fizzle out, and they'll send him back to Alaves for next season, and then they can get him on a free. Or if Mike Ashley's feeling greedy at the end of the season, cash in and just take whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this guy, I mean, that guy, right, I think he's the best, for me, he's the best defender at the club.
He is.
Yeah, no question. Yes. I mean, okay, forget what he did against Leicester last season when we gave the ball away twice. Yeah, forget that. But at the end of the day, Frank Lejeune, he's a baller. he's levels above everybody.
I rate him. I'm with you, Paul. Like I do love Lejeune, but I just think under Steve Bruce, I just don't feel like he's got a future anymore. And if Steve Bruce is saying things like, "Well, this, that, and the other," you can't say way back, can you?
Nah, what I will say is right. What we'll say is like we better keep this guy next season. I hope if Steve Bruce needs to.
I cannot say it. I cannot say it.
Yeah, I think if he's got, I don't think Bruce is even bothered about him, to be honest, which is a shame. Hendrick, at least he tries and has scored twice. Plus, remember Bentaleb's Twitter and Instagram posts after the Man City 5-0 loss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If it was him, you give me that question, Bentaleb or Hendrick. If I had to pick one, it's got to be Hendrick. I don't want Bentaleb anywhere near this football club ever again.
Yeah, I know I've been a massive critical of Hendrick, but I totally agree what Lawrence has said as well. Hendrick, he can try, but it's just not good enough. Oh, Bentaleb, my God, last season.
Well, the thing is, at least we don't have to choose for real, do we? That's the main thing.
I definitely pick Hendrick with Bentaleb.
I could imagine, Paul, if you were doing YouTube last season with Bentaleb's performances, what you would have been like. Deary me.
I'd have been calm as you like, mate. Just, me, nice and calm.
Just as well,
I'll never lose my temper on videos. Anyway, John says Joelinton is a false 9. He never turns up. Jules says Joelinton is a hidden number 9, not false. Andrew says, guys, what's your thoughts on a player lying behind the wall on a free kick? I think it's. I think it's.
Don't like it.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Honestly, right? I was watching the Spanish second division last night, right? Yeah. And I tell you, they did that where they had the wall and had a man like basically lying behind them. And I'm thinking, if you handball that, it's a pen. Like, what on earth are you doing? Like, what? Who thinks of these tactics? 'Cause I'll tell you what. If I seen, let's say Newcastle would draw with Chelsea 0-0, and then let's say Chelsea got a late free kick. Then say something like Hendrick or not Hendrick. Let's say anyone just handballed it, and Chelsea got a pen. You'd be raging, wouldn't you? You'd be absolutely fuming. Then Chelsea win the game 1-0. You'd be fuming.
It's the most stupid thing I've ever seen, to be honest.
Next, they'll be building houses. They'll be like putting players on top of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Sitting on each other's shoulders, making the wall even higher.
Just to stop it from going over the wall.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. With Willock, you mentioned first appearance for the club. Just look at Hendrick. Looked great, got the goal and went downhill ever since.
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
Yeah, need to keep an eye on that. We'll rattle through some more comments. We've got loads of comments. Bloody hell. Joel says, new pick on Twitter, Joel giving Bruce a massage with etherical oils. Interesting. John, have you participated in that before with Joelinton, a nice oily massage?
you could imagine, could you? You could really picture it. John and Joelinton. Yeah.
You could put it on a live stream, John. I'm sure you'd get plenty watching.
Honestly, do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 channels from John Sinclair, YouTube, and then the next one is the John Sinclair Joelinton channel. Everything all related to Joelinton. Next season. It's coming.
I might get him on one day. You never know. But
all things Joelinton.
Yeah, it might be John and Joelinton ASMR.
Every video spot where Joelinton is, and you've got John with his camera. I think I've just spotted him in the shops. 1 second.
Hey, God,
how much do you want, my friend? How much do you want?
I've just seen him buying some cabbages. 1 second, I might get an interview.
Yeah, Jesus. Andrew says I wouldn't have Joelinton driving the team bus. Andy says,
well, he's not mobile. We might not make it with the quarter.
That's very true, actually. Yeah. If the bus is anything like Joelinton, it wouldn't get very far, would it? Andy says, just seen Joelinton put £24 worth of unleaded in his Hummer at Sainsbury's in Monk Seaton.
Wow!
I tell you what, £24 of unleaded in a Hummer won't get him very far. John, you need to teach him about English cars.
I tell you what, he's not half getting about Monk Seaton. Jeez, he was at Blythe the other week, then he was at Sunderland. Now he's at me back garden. Now he's gone about Monk Seaton.
I tell you what, mate, I have no idea. He gets about very, very quickly.
Be Jesmond Dean next week.
I know. Tom says Joelinton spotted outside Parkhead Stadium waiting to meet John and Neil Lennon for a medical at the club. Is that where you are tonight, John?
No, thank you. He can go to Rangers. I'm not having him. Not the green and whites, nah.
Troll said can't send Ashley's sent Joelinton to the Irish club that he bought. Tom says, today Saudi Arabia's Football Association President Yasser Al-Mishal has had a meeting with Qatar's Football Association President Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani in Doha. I haven't heard anything from that. Any of you guys heard from?
No, I haven't heard anything about that as well.
I just think at the minute it's early days until the season's finished, and then we'll see what's going on, if this takeover is going to happen or not.
Yeah. I just hope it all, like I said before, I hope it all stays in the background, to be honest.
We have to. We'll have to see out the season, because at the end of the day, as much as we don't look like we're in a relegation battle, we've still got a lot of work to do.
Exactly. Charles says 2.1 million is all Joelinton will return. I don't think he's even worth that. John will disagree with that, but here.
John, you've got competition, mate, for a price.
Tom says latest score Leeds 2, Palace 0.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, I actually went 2-0 Leeds as well, so I hope it stays that way.
It's still 2. Yes, it's still 2-0.
Ken says, sorry, go on, Peter.
Zaha is not playing for Palace tonight.
He got an injury against us.
Yeah.
Ken
says,
some of the fans were blaming the pitch. I was like, you can't blame the pitch for
I know.
injury.
Crazy, man. Ken says, anybody any idea how much we got for Yedlin? Just
Nothing.
maybe as he's a right back, and the way we maybe move Kraft into central defence? No. Because of injuries, maybe what we have left, let a defender go at the wrong time. I think we have let we didn't get anything for Yedlin, did we? He went on a free. We
should have let him go, though. Like, with the crisis that we've had, with getting... because we let Lejeune go on loan.
Yeah.
And with the crisis that we're in now, Yedlin, why we're letting him go? Do you know what I mean? Let him go at the end of the season. Either way, if we're getting nothing, I might as well just kept... Yeah, well, the club might as well have kept him at the end of the season. Then just say, right, off you go. Then go again. But we're in a mess at the back.
Jules says, let's be real. Joelinton has to be a hand model. There you go, John. Get him a job with one of the, oil of Yule or something for your hands.
Yeah.
Tell you what, he doesn't off get around with these job roles, doesn't he?
I know, but there you go. David says Joelinton will be the new face of L'Oreal.
Not so real.
I'll tell you something, John. You're going to get some commission from all this. I'll tell you, if he gets all these jobs. Geordie, good evening, mate. Nice to have you on the show. Hello, lads. John, what's the latest on Joelinton? Has he been down at yours for a trim?
Oh, next.
Well, he can have it done, but it's going to cost him 50 million for the service, though.
Geordie, if you haven't heard already, he's actually at John's for a massage. Stay tuned for John. I'll link John's ASMR channel in the description. Archer's back again. I believe Joelinton is absolutely drunk in a hot tub looking at page 3, girls. He is that drunk. Joelinton has a piss in the hot tub while the wife is drinking Joelinton juice. Honestly. Archer, seriously, man, where do you get your mind from at times? I honestly, it's like you're the new Stephen King. Unbelievable. Tom, John and Joelinton have a butcher's shop in the Granger Market called Blythe Butchers. Go and check it out.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, I think that we should get a sponsorship from Blythe Butchers. John, I think you should drop them an email tomorrow, will you, and see what you can do.
Yeah, you might just get a promotion from Blythe Butchers.
We've mentioned it so many times. You could just imagine their signs, couldn't you? Blythe Butchers as featured by Joelinton.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. You might get some sort of commission off Blythe Butchers. You never know.
Lawrence said, I potentially give Franchellette a chance at some point this season.
I really rate this
for the squad. Yeah, I do.
I really do rate him.
I've never watched him play.
He's fantastic. I've watched him in the under-23s. He scored, maybe against Benfica, he scored a worldie of a header. And it beat the whole defence. He's good from set pieces. Like, we need someone who can attack like a set piece. We've got their players, but we need more of that. Like, he's only a young lad as well. If he never gets his chance now, he'll never get a chance.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually put balls into the area where people can attack set pieces first, though, mate, to be fair.
The thing is, Paul, what is it with now, like, not giving players the chance, like at Newcastle, of giving them, giving the runner from the deep end, like, just say, right, go and take your chance. Yeah. And, you have a pass or you fill.
Personally, I think if we win a couple more games this season, we're safe. I don't see the bottom 3 catching. You've got to remember how many games they've got to win. We'd have to lose every single game that's left this season to be dragged in. So I've worked it out. Go on.
I've worked it out. I think we're going to get 4 wins and a couple of draws. I don't think we'll quite get over the 40 points mark, but I think we'll stay up at around 38, 39 points. It's not quite the seasons before, but you mentioned the bottom 3. I can't see them doing much.
No, I think the bottom 3 that are there now, with the bottom 3, they'll go down.
Yep.
I think Sheffield United and West Brom are gone already. I can't see them getting out of it.
Sam Alder's master plan, whatever that is.
Yeah, he's finished. Guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to all the channels. Links are in the description. John wants to desperately get to 400 by the end of this week, if possible. And me and Peter, well, we're trying to hit that 1,000 mark. And
you'll get there, man. You'll get there anytime.
Sharky's, of course, a veteran of YouTube, and definitely check his channel out.
I'm getting old, it's not easy, this 3.5-4 years of YouTube. It's taken me a long time.
It does. Brings the grey hairs in, mate.
Check them now, mate.
Sharky's also doing a live stream on a Friday night between 7 and 9, isn't it? It's a good show. Gets everybody on to have a chat with and discuss everything Newcastle and football. So between 7 and 9 on a Friday night, so tune into that as well. It's a great show. Tom says, will Fernandes be back for the Chelsea game? Yeah, we've just said that. We're thinking possibility.
50-50.
Yeah. Without obviously hearing from the club, which, we very rarely do. So we're not sure. Geordie says everyone had high expectations of Lascelles. Some thought he would go on to have a career like Harry Maguire, playing for a top 6 club and country, but never managed to live up to the hype.
He was a Rafa player for me.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think Harry Maguire is considering he cost 80 million quid. I mean,
how much?
80 million. Harry Maguire.
I'm baffled.
I just think, I think a farmer's tractor can run quicker than him. It's just, I've never seen somebody so slow apart from Joelinton. But hey-ho, Man United paid the money, not us, so that's fine by me. Charles says, why did Bruce loan out a 21-year-old Vilke, then loan 21-year-old Willock? That's an interesting question. Maybe he thinks, obviously, Vilke's not ready for the first team yet. But then again, like you said before, Sharky, why aren't we trying these youngsters, giving them an opportunity to come in, see what they can do?
I'm one of these, right, where I don't only just watch the first team. I like to watch the under-23s where I get a chance, because at the end of the day, you're watching the future, and I want to see the future get a chance to play in the first team. Because the thing is, we struggle to match wages in the transfer window. We struggle under Mike Ashley to bring in big-name players. So why not bring in our own players to give them a chance in the first team? You've seen it with other clubs. Why can't we not go down the same route? What's happened to our academy? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, makes sense. Go on, John.
I'll agree with you. Like some Sharky have to say, sort of thing. What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Look, Adam Armstrong for me. I said we should have kept a hold of the guy. Oh no, what do we do? Let him go. Look at him now. He could be going to West Ham.
There's rumours tonight about us bringing him back in the summer.
He's going to West Ham, apparently.
Yeah, but if he goes to West Ham, we get 40% of the transfer fee, apparently, which will be interesting. But
Woodman, look at Woodman now. He'll not be a Newcastle player next season. He'll be at Swansea if they get promoted.
Of course he will. I mean, Woodman won't. He will know that he's going to have limited opportunities, isn't he? David said, for me, there's a massive overhaul needed at the Toon at the end of the season. We need to recall a couple of loan players back for the squad. Yeah, Deadwood needs clearing out, Peter.
Oh, it does. I mean, we've had so much of it for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, we're just handing them silly contracts, 4 or 5 years, that they're not even worth it. Mm-hmm. You can see it on the pitch half the time, thinking, how on earth do some of these players that get that lengthy contracts? It goes back to Pardew, even though he wasn't a player, but he was manager. Mm-hmm. Yes, he got with 5th, but it's Alan Pardew.
Some of the contract lengths have been ridiculous recently. John says we have some bloody good players. It's not the players, it's the management that's at fault. Rotten to the core from top to bottom. We do have some good players. That we do, but we also have some pretty rotten ones as well.
Yeah, we do.
So it's getting the balance of getting the crap out the club. Jason says we have a few passengers and paycheck players that make non-essential away journeys every second week or so. Yeah, I think
we're not consistent enough. That's the problem.
No. We're not. The consistency is massive. Lauren says Lejeune has a year left. Would probably sell him or Shah. Shah's on a free in the summer, so I think I want to see Lejeune back, but we'll see what happens. Jordy says, would you rather keep Lejeune or Shah? Shah for me. John, who do you rather keep out, Lejeune or Shah?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
It's an easy one for me.
That's what you said to Joelinton.
That's a really hard one for me, but I did say Lejeune's the best out of the lot. And I would have gone for Lejeune.
Yeah.
I'm on Lejeune.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And give Fernandez another year extension. I'd give Fernandez an extension. I like Fernandez. I think he's had a very, very good season this year. Very committed. You can't take anything away from his commitment on the pitch, Peter. He launches himself into shots and things like that, and he is one of the players on that pitch that you can tell really does want to win.
Yeah, he does. I can tell him within his body language. I would class him as a leader out in that back line as well.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with him.
Yeah,
and deserves another contract extension.
Geordie says Joelinton.
Joelinton, that's a good one. Joelinton. We've just signed a new in the summer. We've just signed a new player. We've got Joelinton, Joelinton, Snowlinton, and Joelinton.
Oh my
Tell
God!
You what, we've got about 4 or 5 Lintons in the side.
That's brilliant. That's a quality one, Johnny. Well
honestly,
done.
What have you done, John? What have you done, mate?
I know. Troll says John and Joel.
Not on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Troll says John and Joel does the world.
John, you'll get it tonight, mate.
Yeah, he'll get it for a long time after what he came out with. Thomas says 100% John, make a channel about Joelinton.
Yeah, I'll take credit for that. Yeah, you can make a channel about Joelinton. Honestly, you'll be writing Brooks about Joelinton next.
He will. Yeah, he'll be in there. You can see him in Waterstones with Joelinton signing books. Yeah. Right,
you can imagine, could you? Buy this book now. You get 0% off. You get it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponsored
by Blythe Butchers. Right, I'm going to rattle through some comments because we've got loads of them, absolutely loads of them come in. Carl says, I've seen faster movement in the job centre in Blythe and Joelinton. Josh says, what do you think the guys are planning at the top of the club? God knows. We'll never know that. Absolutely never.
You know what, though? That could be interesting for the takeover. Like, if these players are not getting contract renews, like, so for example, we mentioned Fernandez, we've mentioned, Jacob Murphy. There's a few that need contract extended, but it really could be like Mike Ashley just saying end of the season, stay up, get what I need for the club, bye. Could be, we don't know.
Well,
but
fingers crossed. Brian says slowly Linton was asked to cut the grass. He says, what's grass? The groundsman says that's the stuff you run around on for 90 minutes. Joe says again, what grass? Jay says, heard some excuses from Bruce lately, but Klopp's a belter blaming Alisson had cold feet. I heard that. I don't know whether you watched Klopp's interview after the game last night. He said that he was putting all of the mistakes that Alisson made down to the fact that he had cold feet.
Oh, do you have you got the football community on Facebook? Honestly, there's a picture of it. There's a picture of Alisson with Ugg boots on, like taking a goal kick. Oh, brilliant! Because he was talking about cold feet, so he thought, hey, we'll put you some Ugg boots on. Wear them.
Honestly.
What on earth happened there?
That is the football community for you, though. It was quite funny.
Yeah, I think Man City are going to win the title this season. I've got no doubt about that. John says Hendrick gets a lot of stick because he took the Longstaff's place in midfield. He was a decent player for Burnley. He reminded me of a ghost, apparently. I'm not sure.
We didn't need him.
He was decent for Burnley because Burnley played probably to his strengths, i.e. just like, not just
the punch above the weight every season. He's a championship player, but he's played for Burnley in the punch above the weight.
Yeah, definitely. Tom says Willock reminds me of Danny Welbeck.
It's one game. I'm not going to get too overhyped with one game. Just got to keep going.
Thomas says, breaking news, guys. Joelinton has made a YouTube channel and he wants John to be his guest.
Oh, John, I've started something now, Pale. Mate, I've started something.
I think it'll be a perfect ASMR channel, John. You with Joelinton lying on a massage table. You've got slow whale music in the background, relaxing everybody watching.
Oh, I tell you, This will be the best one. John's giving him a massage, and Joelinton's like, slowly now, slowly. Honestly, you could just manage. Honestly, he's like slowly.
God, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. And that's coming. You know what I mean?
My girl Harley might be listening to this.
Johnny, you heard what this is what you've caused now.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Andy says Joelinton has been seen in Wallsend renewing his dogging membership. Dear me. Oh my God. Honestly. Josh says time to bring some of the academy players in centre back. Yeah, we said that. Yeah, definitely.
France left. Get him in next. If he doesn't play now, get him in next season. We're going to need him. Yeah,
we are. But we should be bringing academy players through. We really should. We've got some talented youngsters.
What about the strikers that we've got? There's plenty of young lads in that academy, that under 23 level, that could easily do something in our first team.
Yeah. You know what it is? We've actually got some of them youngsters are actually better than some of the first 11 we've got. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yes.
So, I truly believe that. But
Matty and Sean are struggling at the minute to get even any sort of stuff.
Yeah, so what chance have the kids got? You know what I mean? Lawrence says, would also maybe give Ryan Barrett a chance at right back after looking at under 23 appearance stats. He's a canny little player as well. I mean, there is some, we see there's some good players, really good players, but I don't believe Steve Bruce will bring any players through from the academy. I just don't. He's not that type of manager. He hasn't got the skills to do it, for one. Look at Jamal Lewis this season. He's gone backwards because, we've got an inept coach who can't bring him on. When the lad played so well for Norwich last season, bags of potential. And, because we've got an inept coach, he's going backwards. Yeah. So, Jody says, trust Newcastle to let Yedlin leave on a free and then Manquillo gets injured. That's just typical Newcastle United. That it just happens all the time. Chippers, here's Tom Daly wants Joelinton for his diving team. There you go, John. Get in touch with Tom Daly, mate. You've got a deal going on there.
He's got the course next.
I'll do a deal for them both.
God. Tom says, dream job for John and Joelinton are being the lucky boys on holiday standing on the Benidorm beach.
Love it.
Oh, dear God.
One.
Jesus. I can't say anything to that, Tom. Trill says, Joelinton touched your meat. This is getting terrible, actually. Josh says we have to give them a chance. I take it he's talking about the kids. Totally agree. But
the thing is, we don't do anything in the transfer window. We're signing unknown players, don't we? Who we've never heard of, and then they've got to try and pull the weight of the Premier League. The thing is, Mike Ashley's all about money. So if he's wanting to make like coin, then you promote them through, let them do well, and then make some money. Simple as that.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's not rocket science.
Well, it is to them, though, isn't it? That's the problem.
Well, it's Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley.
Yeah. Jody says 4 more wins, and I think we'll be safe.
Yeah.
I think just I really generally can't see the bottom 3 getting out of it. I think Fulham could well stay up. They're not winning enough games, Jordy. Yes, they're putting in decent performances, but
who are the catching? It's either got to be Burnley or Brighton who the catch, because let's be honest, it's probably more likely Burnley, because I think us and Brighton will pull away. I think eventually we're starting to dig out some results now. We're starting to. I wouldn't say we're playing after a couple of wins, but we are starting to get some wins together now, which is helping. It's putting them in the mire. I think they're stuck. Them 3, I really do.
Yeah, Peter, what were you going to say there?
Well, yeah, I mean, Fulham, they are playing well, but it's just not paying off for them. That is the thing. They had a few decent chances against West Ham, but just came to nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to all our channels. The links are down in the description. You can subscribe to the Toon Review by just hitting the subscribe button in the bottom corner. But don't forget the rest of the guys. Great content on there. We'll rattle through a few more. We've got Fat Sam will walk to avoid having a Premier League relegation on his CV. Do you know what?
That's
I thought that last night. I was just thinking to myself, when they were rabbiting on about Allardyce not having the relegation, and I thought, you know what, I could see him walk and just resign, and so it doesn't have to go on his CV, because he's that type of guy.
Do you know what they said, though, Paul, when he got the job? He mentioned, I want to close the contract that I can walk away and I don't have to do like next season if we get relegated. So I could just say it like, let's say March, April, if they'll cut adrift, he's walking.
Yeah, without a doubt. You can see it. But he's that type of bloke. Thomas says John and Joelinton BFFs. Chipper says Joelinton is subscribed to John's channel. Well, there you go, John.
Joelinton's followers.
I know. Andrew says, great show tonight, lads. Thanks very much, guys. Geordie says, excellent stream yet again. Good. Hope making you all smile. That's what it's all about. We just like to, talk serious football about Newcastle United, but we also like to have a laugh, especially in the times we're in at the minute. It's good to just sit and have a laugh with everybody. That's what it's all about. David says, yes, I tried to get on there last week. I'm not sure what he was trying to get on, but I hope it was a channel and nothing else.
Oh, I think he's on about last Thursday when you had your stream.
All right. I got him on eventually. I was having a lot of problems with StreamYard last week, but it's all working now. Carl says, what's your future views regarding Richie?
Left. He's leaving.
Peter, we'll start with you.
I think he's done.
I've got that feeling he could be away at the end of the season. But we'll wait and see. I do like him. He does graft on the pitch. He likes to give 110%. Yeah, I've got that feeling. He could be gone at the end of the season.
For me,
stop typing to Joelinton on your phone. Concentrate. What do you think? Do you think Richie's going to be here next year, mate, or do you think he'll go in the summer?
I'll go with you guys. I think he's done. I just don't think he'll be at Newcastle next season. I think he'll go to Bournemouth. And if he does score, I wish him all the best. But at the end of the day, we need someone who's going to be energetic and energy sort of thing. But I think it's been a great son for the guy. But at the end of the day, I think he needs to wear in these games, not here.
Yeah, I think we're all agree. Sharky, I presume you feel the same way?
Yep. Got nothing more else to say. I think you'll leave and possibly go back down to the Championship.
Yeah. Lawrence says the under-23s is a place I want to vlog a match when we can actually go to games again. Yeah, that'll be good for you. That'll be good for your channel as well. Lawrence,
living the 23 games as well. I've vlogged a couple.
Yeah,
you've just got to be very careful why you vlog them up, because I've been wrong a couple of times. But not that I've done anything wrong. It's just the guy who operates it. I think he's in the wrong, but I still do it anyway. No, honestly, it's my camera. You can't stop. You can't stop it from using your own camera.
Nah, definitely not. Geordie says Willock has played nearly 80 matches for Arsenal. Despite his age, he does have experience. He does. I mean, that's what we say, but it hasn't been in the Premier League. He's played mainly in Europe and the Carabao Cup and things like that. So, but if he plays like he did at the weekend, then all good for us. Michael Nixon says, can someone ask John why Joelinton's deadline day move to Brighton and Crawcrook Albion didn't go through? Rumour is in the village that John couldn't get the deal over the line.
Well, I mean, it's down to wages, or could be not guarantee a game, or he just want to go to the beach.
You know what? We're starting to make John sound like bloody Harry Redknapp now, aren't we?
He's just got a job today, Harry Redknapp.
Where has he?
He's at Bournemouth to try and. I think he's just there for a short period to try and see if Bournemouth get a manager in. So he's just hasn't done mug it.
Wow. Brian says, slowly Leighton goes to the doctors and says, Doctor, I don't feel ambitious. The doctor says your trouble is you have no goals.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Brian.
Good one.
David says, I tried to go on the Sharky show last week, but didn't get on.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll try and sort that out for Friday then.
There you go. 7 till 9, David, on a Friday night.
The thing is with my shows, we get a lot of people that come in and I give people a chance to speak. So you just have to stay patient.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like waiting in a queue for a sweet shop. Geordie says, Adam Armstrong going to West Ham for 10 million. Fair enough. Andrew says top players don't want to come to the northeast anymore, which is sad.
Location. It is.
That's been an issue for a long time, isn't it?
I've said this to you before, guys, but if they're going to come to the Premier League, they'll rather go to London.
Yeah.
I think what they'll do is if they're going to come to the Premier League and they can't get a Premier League club, they'll look at Newcastle as the last resort because of geographically where we are.
They also like the Northwest as well, don't they? Cheshire and all that kind of stuff.
No.
Lawrence says, can't wait to get rid of Savvy in the summer. Yeah, it'd be nice to have him finally.
After's it now, though.
You what? I know.
I was going to say After's packing.
I can't see him ever getting a game, though, to be fair. Thomas says, Paul, why are you in the dressing room? I think I hear Bruce and Joelinton knocking on the door. No, I've been camped out here. I've been camped here for about a week now, and I still haven't seen Joelinton. I've seen John walking through the corridors a few times, so I know something's going on. Or
Joelinton's on clean duty. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. He should have been put on laundry duty for till the rest of the season, shouldn't he? To be fair. Yeah. Save the Shark says, God, I hope Shark gets a new contract. He has been on it recently.
This is the thing. Like he has a few, like he's had a few good games, and I get it. Like it's a bad injury that he's had, but I don't say on a consistent basis to say, oh yeah, give him a contract. Because if we give him a contract next season and he goes back to the shore of old, then we'll go back to the recent cycle of, why did we give him a contract?
That's the risk, Is he playing for a new contract? Is he playing to put himself in the shop window? We'll never know at the minute, but we're obviously not going to know now until what happens in the summer with him. Leeds have won 2-0.
I've got the correct score prediction, lads. I hope you know who are watching.
It's well done. John says, Paul, could you ask John how long a contract he gave to Joelinton and how much longer he has got left on it? John, take it away.
Yeah, he came on a 6-year deal second season, and he's got, after this season, he has 4 years left on the contract. 4 years left on the deal.
Jesus Christ.
4 year, and he's on 95,000 pound a week.
How much?
How did you pull that off? Seriously, how did you pull it off?
Well, that's all I was told. That is what I was told.
I tell you what, I'm still offended to this day. I'm still offended to this day, right, that Callum Wilson was not given that number 9 shirt.
Oh, no, it bugs
and
the
I
hell out
got
of me.
absolute pelters last summer. Oh, no, but Joelinton deserves another chance of a number 9. What did he do the first season? And what has he done this season to suggest that he's a number 9? When we miss Callum Wilson, right, we think, we've lost our main striker. Your main striker is a number 9. That's him.
I'm not being funny, right? But I'm getting people saying, like, I got cussed before about digging out Joelinton, right? And got cussed because I said he's not good enough. You're being negative. John being negative, man. I said, look, leave him alone. Well, no, I'm not leaving him alone. He's not good
honestly,
enough.
Right? Do you know what? He's that bad. I'd actually get Peter Crouch from retirement. He could probably do a better job.
Oh, without a doubt.
So without a doubt. And also as well, I mean, all these people now are cussing me out and digging out Joelinton. I want those same people that cussed us out come and apologise to us. They won't.
Not going to apologise.
They won't. They won't. Some of
the problem is, John, there's
and some of our fans, right? I mean, our fans are great, but some of our fans are so damn deluded, right? They call Emil Kraft the Swedish Cafu, right? When he signed them up, right? And I just sat back and said, I was just sit back and let them have it on because I did not want that guy at my club because he ain't good enough.
What does Kraft actually do?
Well, I just thought that was hilarious when he first came on in the first half on Saturday, and he went in for that sliding tackle, and he totally missed the ball, and then he took the man out. Honestly, it was hilarious.
He cost us for their Southampton's first goal. Was it Milamino came through down his side?
Yeah.
He just lapsed his concentration. I mean, however, the lad was unbalanced. He still managed to get control of the ball and fire past Olo. It says it all.
Unbelievable. Tom says Facundo Ferreira, former Newcastle player, has scored for Celta Vigo tonight.
Right,
get a draw against Atletico Madrid.
Right, bring him back. How then? Can't be any worse than what we've got. Come on.
Can't be any worse than Joelinton. Joe says if we get taken over, do you think Bruce will get a run? No,
get rid straight away. Whatever happens at the end of the season, I want him gone anyway. If we are mid-table, I want him gone. I don't want to see him for next season.
Do you know what it is? Sharky, right? I mean, you just said there, I want him gone as well.
He's said for me.
Season.
I've never felt so negative watching this club under him. I haven't.
Yeah,
I know. So I want him gone. That guy out of the club after Liverpool last season, and he's still here.
It's crazy, man. Chris, the Leeds fan, says, "Hey up, lads. Now I feel better after that royal performance by Rafinha. Unfortunately, we haven't seen the game because we've been on here, Chris. But well done for another win. What's new, lads? Pretty much a bit happier tonight because we won at the weekend, Chris. And it's a very strange feeling, but hopefully we can keep it going. Geordie says a disaster. That what those at the top are planning, God knows. But it normally ends up in disaster, doesn't it? Andrew said Joelinton's been seen building snowmen, but it felt a bit like he does in the box. That's a good one, Andrew. That's a cracking one.
Where was he the other Freeman?
Exactly. What Geordie says, once the Northeast thrives on bringing local talent through, such as Beardsley, Gazza and Waddle, just to name a few. It's right. You know, it doesn't have those sort of... I don't think we'll see players of that ilk anymore coming through. We've got players there.
You've got to believe in the academy. This is what I'm saying.
You've got players there, but, you know, they're not going to come through if we've got a manager like Steve Bruce who will not play the kids. He just won't. Geordie says John and Joelinton have been spotted at Tynemouth having fish and chips while talking about haircuts.
I did mention the coast about 15 minutes ago, so yeah, he has now made it to the coast.
Yeah, he's on the coast now. Robert Hogg, who's a Leeds fan, please can we have St Maximan? I do ask every week.
I'll tell you what. Go on, Peter.
Go on, Peter.
I think we're all right, actually.
Yeah.
You were talking about the coast and waves. I mean, I've seen the waves go a bit faster than what Joelinton does. You know, waves of attack. Did you see that from Joelinton?
Yeah, I know. But no, Leeds can keep the hands off St Maximan as well, please. John says the best fish and chips are in Tynemouth.
The Whitley Whale is nice.
It's debatable. Joel says new name for a kebab shop, John and Joel's. Hey, John, these are all ideas. I'd be writing them down, mate.
John and Joel's butty kebabs from Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce will be, you'll have some part to play in that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Alan says, my only worry, lads, is our last 6 fixtures are horrible.
I think we'll be, I think we'll be okay. We've got to keep the faith. Keep the faith.
I think we'll be okay by then, to be honest.
Keep the faith.
Lawrence says, can't wait for him to walk after we get a win at the Hawthorns on 6th of March.
Talk about the two dinosaurs, Bruce in Sam Allardyce. That literally has 0-0 written all over it.
Of course it does.
If we continue to play the way we were playing before Jones came in, something's changed anyway, whether it was him or not.
Yeah. That
for me would have 0-0 or one shot on target for both sides written all over it.
I agree. 100%. Truel says, good show again. Thanks very much, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Tom's listing the fixtures there. Fulham's fixtures. Everton,
I've seen that, yeah.
United and Palace. I mean,
God, I think Fulham could win both for them, though. That's my only concern. They could actually beat the win the last two.
Yeah. But then again, you never know what Crystal Palace side is going to turn up, do you? And you never know what you're going to get with Burnley either. Yeah. Steve Bruce, good evening, Steve. Which of you sent me love letters the other week?
I believe that wasn't here last week. I'm discarded. It's between you two. Or you three.
Well, no, you said you were putting some funny ones in the post and you thought they hadn't been delivered. I saw your show, Sharky.
Oh yeah, I did. It definitely wasn't a love letter because, as I was saying the week before, it wouldn't make it to the letterbox.
John's writing one now. Look.
Yeah.
Thomas says, fantastic stream, lads. Even Joelinton has subbed to all of your channels. I hope he has. And I hope he takes it in good fettle because, you know, like I say, we just want to have a laugh during this lockdown and we hope we're doing that for you guys out there. That's the whole point of it. Steve Bruce again says, don't worry, lads. War Alex will come out of retirement if we suffer more injuries. Well, he certainly won't be speaking to any Newcastle fans because he's been on a right blocking spree.
I've seen that.
Honestly, he's Alex Bruce. He's blocked.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
He hasn't blocked me. But now I've said that, he's probably just done it.
He blocked you as well.
Yeah. If you put the hashtag Bruce out, you'll probably be blocked within about 2 hours. I think he's got something comes up on his phone that any hashtag Bruce out and he's blocking.
But the thing is, you're not going to lose any sleep if Alex Bruce blocks you, though, are you? You're not going to lose.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Not as slightest. Listen, I got blocked off Stan Collymore for calling him Wumby ass sort of thing, which is true. And
but if anyone blocks you, you're not going to lose any sleep over it, are you?
Not really, nah. Especially not Stan Collymore. I don't think he's that good on Talk Sport anyway. So.
Oh my God, John! Honestly,
Talk Sport is one of them. They're literally anti-Newcastle. They're literally, honestly, they're far from the club.
They are, you know, some of them are turning a little bit now.
But now that the going's getting better, we've won a couple of games, but then we'll go back to reality again. They'll be back. Oh, but Steve Bruce wasn't doing a bad job. He's not good. He's not good.
Flavour of the month. No, I'm not going to lose any sleep about Alex Bruce. I'll probably lose more sleep about having nightmares about John massaging Joelinton. That's where I'll get lack of sleep. I'll tell you. Save the Shark says, the hair on my arms grows faster than Joelinton runs to the barbers. John Bruce says, the northeast of Newcastle, the best place in the world to live, without a shadow of a doubt, mate. We're not going to... well, John, you're in Bristol at the minute, but I'm sure you'd love to be in the Toon.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that is always living gospel for those living concert. And look at my mum at the minute. I mean, I went back because of my mum, and she's fine, but she has ups and downs. But I will be back up in the future. You never know.
Proper Geordie accent you got, John. Dude,
I know.
Get in.
Again, there, man. But
I don't know how you managed to. I don't know how it works in Bristol with your Geordie accent like that and the Bristol accent. I don't know how you can communicate with anybody down there.
Hey, John, we need to see you back up for a match.
Yeah. Definitely.
I know people say, don't go back. But listen, I've got to come back because
you have to. The thing is, even though it's all rubbish at the minute, we're all saying negative stuff, but we just want to be back in the stadium. Get behind the lads.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the way I see it now. Like I boycotted the first season under Bruce, but I wanted to go back this season, but obviously we can't because of the pandemic. But I'll just go through thick and thin now because I want to get behind the team.
Yeah, I want to get back to the ground as well. Oh, hang on. Look who's just commented. 9. Thank you, John, for your continued support. I'm loving all the attention. Well, you're very welcome, Joelinton. We love you. We love you on this channel, Joe.
Are you sure that's not a made-up account?
Well, of course it's a made-up account, Sharky. It's not going to be the real one, is it?
We're all giving him all the praise. It's probably not even him. It's probably just been made. That's been made, that.
Of course it has. We know that, but, let's just...
Oh, well, it could be anyway, Joelinton, yes.
Yes, let's just go along with it, Sharky.
Yeah, come on. Just like the board, we'll go along with it, Joelinton.
Exactly.
John Joelinton, John, we'll have to change it. We'll have to change your surname to John Joelinton. There you go.
Yeah,
John Joelinton. Yeah. John Joelinton.
That has got a real good ring to it.
That is obviously not John Sinclair, John Joelinton. There you go.
Joel says, doesn't he do it for you anymore, John?
By the way, next season, John, I wouldn't be surprised if you buy I don't know if you buy the merchandise, but if you buy a shirt with Joelinton on the back, I would not be surprised.
Ain't gonna happen.
How good would it be?
On the back.
Yeah, exactly. John Joelinton on the back. Ken says, Wilson said he didn't want the number 9. He's always worn 13. Yes, he said that, but I think had he been given the number 9, he would have took the number 9 without a shadow of a doubt. Because he knows what that shirt is all about. Steve Bruce, the problem is, John, there's a lot of keyboard warriors in our fan base.
I got a few on Friday, but I just blocked them.
Did you not? I know.
Got it.
This is like
absolutely ridiculous.
The one what I posted about Joelinton, and come up and say, get behind the team for FC, blah blah blah. Right? But listen, I was going to bring a picture. You know what I mean? I'm the real one in the building, right? Yeah. And he's not. Yeah. I said how it is. This guy just come out and just say,
"Oh, they don't like it."
This is what I'm saying, though, Sharky. Right? Some of the fan base at Newcastle, some of the fans are just absolutely deluded. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's one you can tattoo and one you cannot tattoos. Do you know what I mean?
You just for me, just block them and get on with it. That's what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah, Johnny, you on your soapbox there, mate? You are on one tonight about the trolls. I'm very impressed.
I'll tell you what, you'll go back to Twitter, they'll be right in your face. Won't they, John?
Yeah, I know. It's kids, though. That, to me, it's a lot of kids, to be honest, especially the Joelinton fans. I mean, they are not 100% clued up on football. I can't believe they are. If they think there is a footballer in Joelinton, then I'm sorry. They haven't watched football long enough for me. Andrew says, I'm just getting FIFA 21 and the first thing I'm doing is getting rid of Joelinton.
Good lad.
Most Newcastle fans did that, to be honest.
I play FIFA 21 career mode, right, and I barely use Joelinton these days. I don't think I've used him twice.
Career now.
You what, Peter?
Dropped him out of my online season FIFA videos I do now.
Oh, you had a mate today, by the way. Can I just say that? My God, that last game, you were ripped a new one. I was putting PROUDLOCK out and every hashtag PROUDLOCK out in the comments and stuff.
I've seen that. PROUDLOCK out John in.
Yeah, somebody put John in, I know. That was funny. Right, last 5 or 6 minutes of the show, so we'll rattle through some more of the comments. Just remember to hit the like button, guys, and subscribe to all our channels. The links to the other 3 guys' channels are in the description. Make sure you do go and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Alan says, lads, is the rumour true that Bruce makes a nice cup of tea while Graham Jones works on tactics? Yes, basically. I can see that.
He's the only one who seems to bark out instructions.
Yeah. John says, Jesus, them facts about Joelinton is disgraceful and appalling. This needs investigated. There has to be a tax dodge somewhere. Ashley has to be involved. Yeah, we know that somebody's made a lot of money from the deal. We know that. Steve Bruce says, roll our sleeves up. I'm here to stay.
Well, you know.
What was that you waved there, John?
No, no money.
All right, fair enough. Carl says the only thing Bruce sees running in is his Just Eat app on his phone. Steve says, I'm looking forward to the Dino battle at the Hawthorns. Yeah, the Dino battle, the dinosaurs, come together.
I don't even want to be reminded of that game personally. Imagine trying to preview that game. I'll be so bored.
Oh, my God. Andrew says, Bruce and Fat Sam combined at the age of 478 years. Jules says, no offence meant, John. All in good fun. Well, I think John knows it's all in good fun. John knows we all love him, so don't worry about that. He takes things in good spirits as it's
John's a legend.
As it's meant to be taken. He's an absolute legend. You're right, Sharky.
No, you're all legends.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Peter, you're a legend as well, my man.
Thank you very much.
All right, don't say anything to that. Don't look too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I think Peter's starting to dream of John's ASMR channel, isn't he? Hey God!
I think he's just thinking about when Joelinton slower now.
Oh no, Sharky! Please don't say that again. I'll close my eyes tonight, and that's all I can hear. That's going to be an absolute nightmare.
That literally is like John and Joelinton saying slow now. But John's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I know. David says, another great show, lads. You're all top blokes. Thanks very much, David. You guys make the show by tuning in and putting all your comments on, so it's down to you guys. Tom says, is the show on next Monday with a match? No, it's not. It'll be Tuesday night at 8:30, but I think Barry, you'll be back for that one. I'm not sure. If not, then we've got Sharky on standby anyway. So we'll be next Tuesday, because obviously is it 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock kickoff?
Oh, I think it's a 6 o'clock, isn't it? Or is it? No, it's Monday. It's 8. It'll be 8.
But some of them are 6 though. Depends how many they are.
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, right? Yeah, it'll definitely be Tuesday night next week, lads. But I'll obviously you'll know. I'll put it on Twitter and everything, what time it is and everything. So don't worry about that. I'll schedule in quite early so you can set a reminder for it. I will be on later on in the week as well with another live show. I believe I've got young Holly coming on this Thursday and possibly Chippers as well. So we'll just wait and see. Lawrence says, hasn't blocked me, but I've never said anything to him. Honestly, Lawrence, if you put anything about him, he'll block you within a couple of hours. Some of the Newcastle fans have just tested it today. I put a tweet out this morning saying he was on a blocking spree, and then loads of people have tweeted me back saying, I said something about Steve Bruce, and within like an hour or so, they've been blocked by Alex Bruce. So there you go.
You won't lose any sleep, honestly. If you're being blocked by Alex Bruce, just don't lose any sleep over it. It's not worth
it. Exactly. Tom says, what has John and Joelinton had for tea tonight?
John, he's had fish and chips, hasn't he? According to some comments at the coast.
Yeah. Yes, I.
Banter cod.
David says BBC Radio Newcastle are a lot better than TalkSport. I'm a proud Geordie Newcastle fan. Yeah, I mean, John Anderson tends to say how it is. He's not worried about.
I'll listen to it.
I love John Anderson. I loved him as a player as well. But he's great as a pundit. I thought he was a tremendous right back. Some people won't remember him though, but he was a good player. Michael says, when we can go to games, I did sitting next to John to discuss all things Joelinton.
See, John, you're going to have to come back now for games because you've got some attention.
You imagine the popularity that John's going to have. We'll know that John Sinclair is arriving at St James's Park, because it'll be like the Sunderland game when the police have to escort him to the ground because he'll have that many Newcastle fans trying to, get pictures with him and autographs.
Do you know what I'm hoping for? Well, first game back, it's like a 3 o'clock kickoff. We can all just meet up and have a drink, and I think it'd be great.
Without a doubt. I cannot wait for that day to come, because it's like, that's what we all need. Especially like considering we've all met really through the power of Facebook and not Facebook, YouTube. Well, we're broadcasting on Facebook tonight as well, by the way. So, we've all met through social media, and it'd be great just to discuss football and have a laugh like we always do, because we all get on really well. We all have a laugh, and it's good to see. Plus, we can all do vlogs for channels and interview you guys before the game and stuff like that. Steve Bruce saying Joelinton has been up Concert Park. Any news on that, John?
Of course, Steve Bruce will know that.
Yeah. Alex Bruce will come out annoyed when the new owner sacks Steve Bruce at the end of the season. Fingers crossed, Tom. Robert said you look much better against Southampton, and like you said earlier, the bottom three are so bad, so now to worry about. What do you put your improved performances down to? Graham Jones.
Formation as well, like but not just that though. Like I think it's easier to forget ESM when ESM's in the side. We look a better team all around with the assists. Just driving forward and just what he brings to the side is so crucial.
Definitely. Right, last few comments before we end, so I'll just rattle through these. Say the Shark says, give Steve Bruce a number 9 shirt and Joelinton as manager. Bloody hell.
Joelinton would be in League 2 if he was a manager.
Yeah. Joelinton says FIFA 21 is crap anyway.
The games are very scripted.
What is that because you don't get a chance?
That's because he gets sold all the time, presumably.
They are very scripted, the games.
David says, I got Joelinton on my back, but only because he's the number 9. Shame on you, David. Shame on you. Joelinton say, me and John prefer Pro Evo.
I don't even think Joelinton would make it on Pro Evo anymore.
No. Thomas says, Peter, you better roll your sleeves up on your career mode. Do it right now, says Thomas. Yeah, I'd agree, Thomas. He definitely needs to do something.
I'm not relating to any Steve Bruce quote. I'm not mentioning anything about this, that, the other.
I'm only saying it since I've got to read them out. Charles says, are you about to wash Bruce's back, Paul, since you're in the dressing room? Absolutely not. You'll notice behind me that the dressing room is completely empty, as it should be. If you want that kind of action, I suggest you watch John's ASMR channel.
Yeah,
make sure you tune in from midnight.
Yes.
Yeah, midnight. Got some breaking news as well. Someone sent us, the video intro for me, for the YouTube, my YouTube channel. Someone sent us a YouTube video, so I'm gonna check it out and see what it's like. And
by the way, John. By the way, while you're here, I'll show you my background. Because John was looking for I've basically got a new sort of virtual studio for my recordings. So there it is. Oh, you can't see it. Hang on. You can't see it, can you? It's not. It's on the background. You can see it, can you?
I can see it back. I can see a background. Yeah.
Right. Hang on. There must be a way I can do this. I've put it into.
Would it be image overlay or something like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh, there we are. We're going a different way now.
Hang on. It doesn't seem to want to work. Never mind. Oh, you've all gone now. Great. That's not what I wanted. Never mind. That's just the background. I'll send it to you on Twitter, John. Let you have a look at it. But it's really good. I mean, the guy took a while to design it, but when you're designing backgrounds and videos and things like that and intros, it does take a while for these guys because they are professional in what they do. So they do take a while. It's worth if the thing is you were going on about the money and stuff before. It's worth it if you're going to stick at your channel. Then if you want those sort of designs on your channel, it's worth paying the money for.
I'm old school, mate. I'm when you see me do my previews, like I could have a background if I wanted to. Like, I'm not against screens, but I quite like them. But I'm just quite old school. I'm just like bash a video out. Hopefully, it's good. And it works.
Everyone's different, though, aren't they? Everyone's different. Yeah. Everyone does things differently, and everyone's just happy with what they're doing. And you know what it is? It's just. I
am to be fair. I am doing some. I've got a spare room. You say I am. And Joelinton's not going to be in there. Don't you worry about that. I am actually going to design. It's actually getting designed, so it's got like I've got like my own like I've got a setup, but I'm going to make sure it's designed like as a Newcastle setup. So hopefully that should be coming soon.
Good. Well, like I say, I've bought cameras, I've bought lighting, bought the green screen. It's what I enjoy doing. So
absolutely, Paul.
And if everybody has a different ways of doing videos, but John, like I say, I'll send it to you, and if you need any help getting in touch with the guy that done it for us, I can tip you off.
Thank you, man.
He's a good guy. He's done a lot of work for me. But anyway, last few comments. It would take Joelinton 29 years to run the length of the pitch. Everybody's saying that Chelsea kicks off at 8 p.m. Oh, there's a question. Joelinton from Joelinton, me or Frank Pingle? Oh, now there's a question. There is a question.
No.
No. John and Joelinton restaurant starters, Joelinton special main course, Bruce Ball dessert, John Joelinton ice cream. There you go.
Bruce Ball dessert.
A Bruce Ball dessert. Steve Bruce says Joelinton's been playing on the swings down at Rowlands Gill Park. Hey, I used to go there a lot as a kid. John, next Christmas you better get a Joelinton shirt. Troll says I'm good, but thank you. Tom says John and Joelinton have been spotted on South Shields Beach selling donuts to random people.
That was a bit right from time out to South Shields.
Certainly was. Certainly was. Troll says stay safe all. And the final comment of the night is Tom, and he says Meeting Labour Club, that's a good club. Yeah, we'll see what happens after the lockdown. But anyway, that's the end of the Four Horsemen of the Toon show tonight. Like I say, I'll be back later on in the week with another live stream. Do keep an eye on my Twitter, and I'll let you know when they are due to start. I know I'll be doing the Thursday night live one, but I might do a couple more live streams talking about Newcastle, depending if there's any news comes out or anything like that. Guys, I want to thank you very much for joining in again tonight. It's been a blast as usual.
Pleasure, as always.
Sharky, thank you very much for standing in again for Barry, and you're welcome on here anytime you want. You know that. Just a couple of others. Chipper says Joelinton makes the bacon sarnies, and Geordie says great stream. Thanks, mate. Yeah, do subscribe to all the channels. The links to the other three guys' channels are in the description below. Don't forget to press the like button if you've enjoyed the live show or you're watching it on the rerun. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for joining the stream, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
See you later.
So there you go. That's the end of the Four Horsemen of the Toon tonight. Again, I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for coming on the show. It's been an absolute blast again. Don't forget to subscribe to the Toon Review channel and the other guys' channels. We come on here to try and make people smile, talk about Newcastle, have a bit of fun, as we've done tonight with Where's Joelinton. And obviously, you know, don't worry about John taking any of the jokes to heart. The man is an absolute, genuine, lovely bloke, love him to bits, and obviously he loves having fun with everybody as well. So thank you very, very much again for tuning in. Stay safe out there, guys, because it's nasty out there at the minute with the snow, with COVID and everything else. So do stay safe. In the meantime, good night, everybody.
Be strong.